Okay.
I'm just going to keep throwing shade on Lucas.
That's the first thing that came out on the live chat. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the live chat where it's all live all the time. I'm here with Hacks and Phantom and some other plebs. We're going to do a thing.
It's true.
I'm here.
If you haven't guessed, we're going to have like more plugs than usual today. So get your asses ready.
God, so many plugs.
Get your asses ready for these plugs.
We're going to have an astronomical amount of plugs, even if you forget to ask us where you can find us on the internet. If you ask us where you can find us, we're going to have like 8,000 plugs. So, you know.
Well, you guys want to sync up? Is everybody all recording?
Yes,
nope.
we is.
No, we are not, because we're bad at this. It's only been a year and a half, Eugene. How do you expect me to keep up with you guys?
I have been recording since pretty much I logged on, so.
I have not been recording. Give Audacity a second. I have been playing Kirby.
I might not be able to stay in the YouTube chat, mostly because, you know, I'm losing a lot of bandwidth.
I haven't been recording because I'm not a part of the show.
Yeah, I actually also am not totally sure about my ability to be in the YouTube chat because my internet kind of sucks. So
don't worry, I'll relay the information on the Google chat.
All right. Are you guys ready to sync up?
I'm ready.
Cool.
I was gonna make a joke, but I have a cookie in my mouth.
Good. Well, I'm thank God for that cookie. In 3, 2, 1. All right, Justin, what are you and your cookie at?
27:27.
Hey, Lucas.
39 seconds.
All right.
Weird, only having to collect 2 times this week.
That is really weird.
I'm going to open up the chat. Pop out chat.
And for those of you who didn't hear me say it a little while ago, I tend to have bandwidth issues, so I'm probably not going to be interacting on the chat tonight. Not that I've ever been very interactive anyway, but having YouTube running in the background will probably make it so I can't hear my co-hosts here.
Before we get into the show, I think I'm really gonna like this game. Like, this is a very cool game. Yeah, I'm very much enjoying it, more than I have previous Kirby games.
Well, that's a plus for sure.
That's a plus.
Right.
I'm downloading it right now. So,
when does the full game come out?
Wow.
16th of March.
Thank you.
Oh, cool. For a brief moment, I thought that this was the month that Dark Souls came out, but it's actually May. I got disappointed.
Mario Tennis should be coming out either this month or next, right? They're saying spring.
I can't remember, but I can look it up real quick. Before we go on live.
Oh God, this game has like Kirby 64 style puzzles where you have to use like 2 abilities in order to make things happen. I love that.
Sweet. I've actually been thinking about doing a retro review of Kirby 64 because I miss playing that.
I would tag along with that I would tag along on that with you if you would have me, because that's like my favorite Kirby game.
You know what would be cool is if like Justin could do a written and you could do like a video.
I could do the Let's Play. Yes. Yeah. We got ourselves a thing,
I could finish the retro review I started in October and
Shadow Man.
Yeah, didn't finish in time for Halloween and then just kind of fizzled out on.
Okay, get it finished and don't post it until next Halloween. That way it's fresh content. Like these,
that's like not a bad idea.
These 3 Star Wars games that I have that I'm waiting to play until Solo comes out. So we'll get more views on the video, hopefully.
Okay, so let's get rolling, guys. By the way, Mario Tennis Aces only says spring 2018 on Nintendo's website, so no official release date yet.
Wow.
Okay, so yeah, let's get rolling. Like we said, we're gonna roundtable. So I'm going to take the lead, and then I'll toss it to one of you guys, whichever one of you guys looks like you're paying attention the most to my talk. And then yeah, we'll just go from there. Just
sounds
my
good.
Audacity.
Assuming I can hear you, I will pay attention. But
if you can't, just
Hello.
smile and be like,
hello, everybody, and welcome to Infendo Radio. This is the 4th day of March. My mom's birthday was 2 days ago. Happy birthday, Mom. You're not listening. Who am I kidding? But I've got two fine co-hosts with me here tonight. Lucas and Justin, how are y'all doing tonight?
you mean I missed an opportunity to make a your mom joke to your mom?
I mean, you still have a few seconds before I mute you, Justin. So why don't you have it? How are you doing, Justin?
Pretty good. Nothing new to talk about. So yeah. Hi.
Lucas, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing good. I'm sure one or more of my parents are watching at some point in the future. So hi, folks. How you doing out there? My life is good right now. I have no complaints. I did my best. I have no regrets.
Very nice. Well, we have a few fine people in the Hunters Hub with us tonight. So thank you, Phantom and Hacks, for being a part of our Patreon. Thank you, Hacks, for being an executive producer tonight. If you want to be one too, you can at the Patreon/Infendo Radio. But before we move on, because we have all kinds of plugs tonight, so let's try and get a few of them out of the way first. We actually just launched a merch shop. So that's really cool. It's on Design by Humans. You can go to designbyhumans.com/shop/Infendo, or you can also go to infendo.com and just click on the merch shop link on the very top, and that'll take you right there. But yeah, we have some cool stickers, some cool freaking mugs. I'm definitely going to order myself a hoodie and a mug and perhaps a sticker to put on my laptop. But yeah, it's really cool. Lucas has put in the majority of the work, so thank you very much, Lucas, for doing that for us. It's great. Also, one last plug from me, and I'll let anybody else plug whatever else they want to get plug in. Go to infendo.com because there's actually some updates there. You can actually join our Discord directly from infendo.com now. So come and hang out. You can also, like I said before, join the merch shop. So do that. So yeah, we're making updates a little bit at a time ahead of our site redesign. So come and check us out. Any other things we need to say before we get moving, guys?
I think we're good. We're good.
I'm good.
Awesome. Well, then let's get started with the show proper, because we are actually going to be doing a roundtable discussion again tonight. And I think that it's the perfect time to do so because it's actually a year that since the Switch has been out. And tonight we're going to do a little roundtable discussion pertaining to that. So I'm going to go first. I'm going to kind of take the lead here. So I guess this is my little soapbox session. So here we go. Nintendo Switch, 1 year out. Who would have fucking thought that it would have been doing so good? Honestly, not me. It's already surpassed the lifetime sales of the Wii U, which we've already discussed before. But what I think that doesn't get a lot of discussion, and maybe it's a bad thing. Lucas might think that it is, but the games in the Switch library have already surpassed the lifetime games that the Nintendo 64 has ever had. So there's more games in the Switch library than there ever were on the Nintendo 64, and that's fucking crazy to me. So I mean, it's great to be a Nintendo fan at this time. I think we've kind of all talked about it before, but you know, it's nice that Nintendo is relevant again. It's nice that the Switch, the platform of choice, is starting to actually see games come out that are, you know, not like 2 years, 5 years, 6 years old, even though we still are getting those. But, you know, like we're getting games that are on current generation platforms like Rocket League, and we can play with players from other consoles. I mean, that's freaking awesome. We have already received arguably 3 of Nintendo's highest profile franchises in Mario Kart, Mario, and Zelda, each amazing games. I mean, obviously Mario Kart 8 was a game that already came out on the Wii U, but you know, not a lot of people had the Wii U. So it's really cool that this game already has a larger install base than the Wii U game ever did. So I mean, all good things for the Switch. I mean, it's growing and growing and growing. It's a indie platform darling, to be honest. I mean, that's really the only place I would want to play some of these indie games. Night in the Woods, I'm really looking forward to getting into. I purchased it a long time ago, haven't really dove into it, but I know that Lucas really enjoyed that one. There's so many great games in the Switch library, and we're only on year 1. So yeah, I again, not that it's, you know, fanboyism or anything like that really matters, but you know, like Nintendo's doing well, and when Nintendo's doing well, that can only mean good things for us. You know, like it's just fantastic to see the Switch do so great, and you know, more to come here in year 2. We've already seen that in the second, not really the second year, since February was Bayonetta, but you know, right at the tail end of the first year, we're already seeing Nintendo kick it into gear with some new games. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what's in 2018 and beyond. So that's really all of my piece. I'm going to toss it off to I guess Justin. Why don't you kind of take the soapbox away and tell us about your year 1 experience?
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably the latest to the game, no pun intended, of the Infendo group here. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting to get as much use out of this as I have. I'm getting texted right now. I apologize. Train of thought.
You weren't expecting to get as much out of it this year as you have.
Thank you. But yeah, I mean, it's just the convenience of it. I love it. Like, I used to carry, when I wasn't working from home, I used to carry my 3DS with me everywhere, and you know, bring it out, you know, when I had to stop at the toilet or on breaks at work. And I mean, around the house, the Switch has become that for me. And then, you know, at night, my fiance usually falls asleep on the couch after we watch a couple shows. I stay up and play video games. I can play the Switch on the TV. I get to play with you fine people at Infendo and our listeners and Twitter followers and all that. And I'm just so impressed with the library, because I used to not really care about most games that come out on Nintendo systems that aren't made by Nintendo. But there's just so much great stuff here. Like, I'm actually playing Skyrim. I'm actually playing an Elder Scrolls game, which I never thought I would do. But the convenience of just being able to pick it up, then, you know, like warp from one place to the person and then put it down is great. And yeah, the indies and these retro games that just look phenomenal on this screen, Blaster Master Zero and Shovel Knight and the Arcade Archives, just it really has me excited about what else is in store for this, because when Nintendo hits the right note, it can linger for years. And like, I know we've got to get another Smash game, another Mario Kart game. They're already working on another Zelda game, and just, I mean, I hate to gush too much about it because there is some bad news out there. You know, the library's still a little lacking, but I'm happy with everything that I have on it. So, and thank you, you know, for for pitching in and getting it for me.
Well,
yeah, I don't know what else to say, 'cause I didn't prepare a speech. I'm sorry.
I will just jump in and I'll give my totally uninterrupted speech too. That is kind of the weird thing about this, as we're still experimenting with it. We don't know exactly when one person is done and we should move in. But yeah, I had a kind of interesting story to getting my Switch. If you were around a year ago when Infendo was doing its thing, I had The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which I think I bought as a day one purchase, or I bought it pretty freaking immediately toward the beginning of the game.
We got the Breath of the Wild for you early. Remember that?
And yeah, that's right. That's right. As like a super happy fun time present thingy. I totally forgot that you guys did that. So sorry in advance for being a total jerk. But yeah, so that's how I ended up with that. Yeah, because Eugene chipped in with part of like the Infendo money and got everybody the game. And I decided I wanted it on the Switch because I knew I wanted to play it on the Switch and not on the Wii U. The problem was I couldn't afford and couldn't find a Switch. So I waited about a month, I think, 3 weeks, a month, something like that. And then I finally got a one pre-reserved at Walmart for like a few weeks later. I bought it and then I had a Switch all of a sudden. I could play Breath of the Wild. I got into the party really late with that. Everybody else had already played and mostly beaten the game. But yeah, that was my Breath of the Wild experience, at least. Then things kind of went quiet for a while. I put a lot of money and a lot of time into games that were fun, but like were admittedly kind of time filler games like Bomberman, and I'm trying to think of even some of the other ones. I guess Mario Kart, things like that. Well, Vroom of the Night Sky was a one-off with me and Mike, but yeah, games like that, just things to play to kind of pass the time and have fun. And then Mario came out, and then all of a sudden I was like, I love this system again. It's everything I want. And then like Fire Emblem Warriors, and I bought like 3 Dynasty Warriors games in like Japanese because you can buy on the Japanese eShop for the first time on a Nintendo system, which is also really cool. And I love it. And I wish it was easier to do because it's so much fun to do. But I hate having to like go on Play Asia and like buy yen, and it's a mess. But I guess the long and the short of it is I'm getting a lot out of this system. And I'm at a point in my life where I'm able to get more out of it because I'm no longer a student, so I have a lot more time to dedicate to my hobbies when I'm not working, I guess. But yeah, no, I mean, like, it's been a phenomenal system. It's the only system I really want to play. I will say, kind of like you guys both alluded to, there is a lot of indie content on the eShop. I personally have kind of indie burnout just because I feel like when I've played one game, I've kind of played them all lately. They're all kind of short. They're all kind of simplistic. They all give me a fun experience, but it's not that like AAA immersive kind of experience that I really miss with like a lot of the games that I had on Wii U. Short of that, I really have no complaints about the system though. I guess my only other complaint is that I'm running out of space because I have so many games on it downloaded digitally. But yeah, I really love my Switch. It's a great system, and I'm happy it's been a year. And I'm happy it's doing so well financially.
I will keep an eye on the Amazon Gold, or yeah, the the Amazon Gold Box deals, and like every couple of months they'll have a huge sale on the SD cards, and like I got 128 gigabytes for $20. So next time I see one of those, I'll send a link your way.
Well, I appreciate it. I don't know if I'm going to take you up on that because again, that requires having money to put into something that is only used for storing, stuff. But if it's super cheap, I might jump on board. So yeah. I'll definitely take that offer. Yeah, and that's the thing I feel like with the Switch, like, you're so into the system that you're looking into all of these extras, like extra memory and extra controllers and extra this. Like, there's people who collect Joy-Con, and they cost like what is it, like $70 or $90 each for like a set, $70, I think.
I want the Mario Red ones.
Well, I think one of our listeners, Rose of Death, has like 20 different like sets of Joy-Con, and they're beautiful. And I'm like, how do you afford these? It's like it's fantastic, and I want all of them, and I want all this stuff for my Switch that I have no business buying. It's like Amiibos all over again.
It reminds me of back when the N64 was the system, and I was in college and living with my parents and had disposable income, and had I had 4 controllers, including like a limited edition gold one and the Donkey Kong 64 banana yellow one.
Right.
And when the GameCube came out and they had the Zelda game or Swords Adventure, I actually had 4 Game Boy Advance SPs,
Oh.
4-lane cables, and I still
Wow.
have them in a box downstairs. Like, if I ever wanted to go through the trouble hooking all that shit up, I could play Four Swords Adventures 4-player tomorrow. But
Wait, what I'm getting out of this is you were in college when the N64 was a thing?
eat my ass. Shut up.
No, I mean this. I'm literally shocked because I was 7 when it came out. So like I could barely speak and was in like the 2nd grade, and you were in college. Like, I was in college when the Wii U came out, and I was graduating when the Wii U came out.
Well, all right. I was in high school when the N64 came out, like junior high or junior year of high school.
That transitional period.
Yeah, I was in junior high because it was 96. And so N64 was my high school years again, but still like living with my parents with disposable income.
Yeah.
And yeah, buying every new game like on day one, whether I was going to play it or not. And then GameCube was my college years.
I didn't really get into that until like the Wii and really the Wii U, when it came to like being able to do that kind of stuff. Because when the Wii came out, I could buy games digitally. So I didn't have to go to the store. I could be like, hey, I have $15. Let's swipe it and get some games. You know? So that was a thing. But yeah, I guess just different experiences, you know. I will say that I feel like, oh, Eugene?
No, go ahead. Finish your thought.
Oh, I was just gonna say that, like, I feel like every gamer, like real gamers who like this is their #1 hobby, like they have a love affair with their different systems, you know.
Right.
Like my fondest memories were playing the Super Nintendo and like learning how to play video games. And then like I got my Wii and I stood in line for like 5 hours waiting to buy one with my buddy in high school. And like now my Switch, like that whole story and everything. And like I loved my Wii U when it was a thing. I hate my Wii U now because it's so clunky and cheap feeling, and like, you know, the system isn't even in the controller. It's on the stand over there. But like the Switch feels really special. And I don't know if it's going to still feel special when we get the next Nintendo system, but right now it feels really special. And when you bring it out in public, people want to play it, people want to buy it, people want to have it. Like that's a cool feeling again, because it's been a few years since people wanted Nintendo systems. And even when the Wii was a thing and people really wanted it, like it was still kind of the laughing stock of that generation. It was still like, oh, you bought a Wii, so you've got all this shovelware and exclusive. I'm Italian, deal with it. But you've got all this.
No, I'm imitating the early Wii days with.
I thought you were making fun of the fact that I talk with my hands like
no,
I'm
freaking too. So remember, we established this.
Anyway, the long and the short of it is that like the Wii was still kind of like a quote unquote, I hate this term, but like a casual system. It was the game that you had all the party games on and the motion games and yeah, Justin's waggling games and stuff like that. But like now we have a system that works really well with hardcore gamers and like serious gamers. It works well with families, and it's a fun system, and you actually want to own it. That's a cool like trifecta to have.
I had a thought and it's gone. So Eugene, you want to pick up?
Yeah, I'll jump right on. So my thoughts here are like I don't know. I am getting the same vibes of the Switch, that kind of like what you were saying, Lucas, right? With that you got with the Wii, except for that we still kind of have some of those like more casual games, I guess, on the Switch, but there's just like a load more games, like I guess what that you would call like mature, right? Like that are for like a, you know, like a adult audience, right? And I think the indie games tend to fill a lot of that role as well. But what's great is that there's a lot of third parties that are stepping up to the plate and bringing us their stuff that as well for that, you know, like I played
Skyrim.
Yeah, exactly.
Doom.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. Like I went to a party the other day. Not really a party. We were just at like, you know, just chilling at somebody's house. We were watching TV. We were kind of bored.
Rooftop.
We ordered a pizza.
Relaxing, all cool.
Oh, God.
Was it a rooftop party?
It was unfortunately not. But so you know, we were bored, and then somebody busted out their Switch. And they're like, "Hey, you guys want to play Jackbox games?" And I don't know if you guys have ever played that before, but you can play it on your phone.
I know of it.
Like, yeah, it's really cool. So like, you know, there was like 10 of us, and we were all able to log in on our phones and play a game on the Switch. Like, on the, and it wasn't even on the TV because, you know, somebody had just randomly brought their Switch with them, and we were all just like huddled over a fucking coffee table, all 10 of us just get on the, around a Switch and a kickstand. Like it was wild, you know. It really is crazy the kinds of situations you can find yourself in.
Yeah, like when I went to Disney World a few weeks ago, I brought my Switch with me. The original intention was, you know, I could play it with, you know, the kids on the plane or in the room or whatever, and they're bratty and fighting over video games all the time. Anyway, so I haven't even looked at it yet. But it was nice on the plane to be able to just set it up on my little stand here and put it on the little tray table and play Skyrim on the plane. Like I know I keep talking about Skyrim, but like this is the system that got me to play it. Like just the convenience of it and, you know, whatnot. It's like you were, Lucas, talking about Breath of the Wild. Like I'm not disappointed that I didn't wait till I had a Switch to play it, because I'm glad that I got to experience it with everybody else. But now that I've experienced it, I would probably be getting more mileage off of it if I had it on the Switch, because I could just jump in and play, you know, a couple of hours of Champions Ballad, you know.
Were you done?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I play all of my consoles like handheld. Like I rarely use the TV. I probably put about like 20 hours into TV play with the Wii U. But so for me, the idea of portability wasn't really as special because my Wii was already a quote unquote portable system, even though you couldn't bring it outside the house. But I still get like this wonder and amazement when I have my Switch outside the house, which is rare because admittedly it's kind of hard to tote around unless you're, you know, prepared for it.
Sure.
But you have the system out and you're playing a 3D game like Rocket League or Breath of the Wild or Skyrim or something like that. Like that's the part that's so amazing for me. And like I know PlayStation can do it too with the Vita and everything, but like being able to go out and play a full series game and then remember, that's right, this isn't a screen or like a controller. This is the system. This is my next generation. What is this, like 7th gen or whatever, video game console that's playing this game in like beautiful. It looks beautiful. It plays beautiful outside without any kind of internet connection or anything. Like
the screen and the speakers are amazing, considering how like condensed this whole thing is. The first time I played a Switch was 4th of July. My buddy Bishnazzy, by the way, one of our patrons, came by my family's party and brought his Switch with me, and he just set it up on one of the tables, one of the picnic tables outside. There's like, you know, dozens of people around. We're outdoors, stuff going on, and he puts it out and we play a little bit of Mario Kart, and it was out in the sun. It was crystal clear. I had no problem seeing it from any angle. I could hear it over the din of everything. It's like even my iPhone isn't that clear sometimes. And, you know, that's, you know, these smartphones are supposed to be like the pinnacle of convenience, and the Switch is as good as most of them.
Well, and going back to that topic, I like I said, I rarely play on the TV, and I'm not really very big on like the visual aspect, like graphics. Like I don't notice a big difference between 720 and 1080. I don't notice a big difference between playing on the TV and playing in regular. That said, when I played like a game like Hyrule Warriors that I loved, when I played it on the TV for the first time on my Wii U, I was like, wow, it looks so good. I wish I could do this all the time.
Oh my god, Minecraft. Like, I didn't think I'd be able to tell the difference Minecraft on the Wii U and Minecraft on the Switch, but Minecraft on the Switch is just so crystal clear in 1080p.
Well, yeah, and that's kind of what I'm getting at. Like, the screen isn't much smaller, if it even is, on the Switch than it was on the Wii U, but the quality...
I think it's the same size, even.
The quality that displays on the Switch and the size of the Switch really makes it so that you don't notice much of a difference. Like when I played for the first time, I plugged Breath of the Wild into the TV. I was like, blow me away. And like I played it and I was like, yep, it still looks beautiful, but like it really doesn't look any different to me.
Yeah, whereas the Wii U has that
feeling.
Well, the Wii U, I swear, is backlit with the same panel that the, you know, old DS was,
the
DS fat with it's just like very low contrast and very just terrible color saturation, and it's 480p, and you just lose so much playing on the gamepad. And then to just have this thing that's, like you said, the screen is the exact same size, the controller gamepad itself is more or less the same size but thinner and lighter and looks so much better. I do want to kind of shift gears a little here. If anybody wanted to rave about anything else on the Switch, because I mean, we've spent all this time gushing about it. We should probably talk about some of the downsides to it, because it's not the perfect. I mean, we're all raving about it, and we all love our Switches. I don't think any of us are regretting having them. But, like, what would you say are its biggest flaws right now?
I have one big one. It's very minimal, but it's frustrating as hell every time it comes up. The fact that the charger is on the bottom of the screen, which is when you set it on a table, which rests like on the table, is incredibly frustrating. See, I don't have that though.
Yeah,
and like
I feel like for fixing that problem, but yeah,
I totally get that. Like a stand would totally solve that issue. But like as is my vanilla Switch, like I have one option when I'm playing it in handheld, and I go to plug it in, and that's to play it in handheld. Again, it sounds incredibly minor. It's an incredibly simplistic problem. It's just one of those little things that makes you think like, I mean, obviously it must be just because they had to do it this way for the sake of like how everything goes together inside the system. But like, why isn't it at the top? Because it would be so easy to just set it on the table and plug it in and play it. Like, why isn't it at the top?
It's one of those things where every Nintendo handheld system has to have some design quirk. Like the cartridge port being on the bottom of the new 3DS XL.
Yeah. I kind of get why it's on the bottom, because like you want to set it into the dock. Like it would be awkward to maybe set it into the dock upside down. But like I would take that trade-off, honestly.
Charging.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
I never play in hand or in docked mode anyway. So for me, that doesn't even come up. So I guess that does make sense. But yeah, it's one of those little quirks.
Sure, and I've got one too, and maybe this one is a little bit bigger, but we would be remiss if we didn't bring this up without Steve being on the show here tonight. But party chat, like, come on, guys, what the fuck? Let's get like and not just party chat, like let's kind of beef up like just the I guess the friends portion of the online system, because like, you go to an Xbox One or a PlayStation 4 and like, you can look at what the person is playing right now, which you can do on the Switch. But like if somebody's playing Rocket League, you can't just invite them onto the game like right from the console, right? Like thankfully some games like Rocket League have that in the menu, but it would be nice to like do that like system wide, right? Like, hey, I see that Justin and Lucas are playing Mario Kart. Maybe I can just join their game from the system or something.
Right. Yeah. I found, which I thought you could do, because I remember during the last Splatfest, I thought, oh, look, Steve's playing, let me just jump right into his room there. And it doesn't do that. It just boots up the software, and you still got to go through the rigmarole of finding the person and hoping there's room in the room.
Exactly.
Another, and this is another like minor kind of nagging issue to me, but I hate how inconvenient it is to change games. Like most of my games are digital anyway, but I have 2 or 3 games that are on game cards, and the flap is annoying. And like if you're playing on the TV like I usually do, it's a pain because you can't easily just change the game without having to take it out of the dock and all that. Like, and it's a tiny little complaint, but it's one of those like, what were they thinking sort of design flaws.
Adding on to the little complaints thing, I was sitting down a few weeks ago with Corey, my friend in real life, and we had just come back, we got lunch and everything, and we like to play Switch, in our off time. And he's like, well, we're eating. Let's watch some YouTube or something. And I was like, okay. I was like, take out your phone. And he's like, what? He's like, just put it on the system. I'm like, no, my system doesn't have that. I'm like, my system doesn't even have an internet browser. He's like, it doesn't have an internet browser? Like, how is like, I get that it's one of those things that like, I get that it's one of those things that like, who cares? But I've had so many moments where like, I haven't been near my phone or a computer and I've been playing a game and I've been like, how do I do this thing in this game? I wish I could look this up. And like, I instinctually go to the home menu because I did that all the time on the Wii U. And I can't Google search it. I can't watch a video tutorial on it. There's no web browser. And like, admittedly, it's the smallest of things. Like that to me is right next to like not having Netflix or something. Cause like, I don't even have a Netflix, but like, I would like to be able to use even just the most base, like the Wii U, like trashy search engine that they had, just something, you know?
Right.
I mean, I think it's a testament. I think it's a testament to the quality of the system and the software, and you know the convenience of it that we have to nitpick to find things we don't like about it. But I mean, I think the point is that it isn't perfect, and I'm sure somewhere down the line there will be a hardware iteration. Everybody's doing them nowadays, so Nintendo will probably in a couple of years release Switch XP, whatever they want to call it, that's fixes some of these issues and add some new ones. But
I called the Super Switch.
I'd like to also say, kind of tacking on to that the fact that we have so much praise for the system. I mean, obviously we're Nintendo fanboys to one degree or another. I think Eugene probably the least. But he still loves Nintendo. I mean, he bought freaking Infendo, so he has all these other systems and like 5 billion hours on his Xbox and crap like that. But but the fact that we have so much to say about it, and the fact that our nitpicks are so minor, I think speaks to the fact that for once in like 10 years, we have a system on our our console of choice, our company of choice that's really freaking good. And like, it's different from the other systems, but it's really good. And as a fanboy, which admittedly we all are to one degree or another, like that's a good feeling. Because with the Wii U, you kind of had to justify it. You were like, yeah, I have a Wii U. And people are like, really? And you're like, no, it's good. It's fun.
Right.
Like with this, it's like, yeah, I have a Switch. And people are like, yeah, I want one of those too. It's like, finally. And like, the biggest gripe I had with the Wii U.
It's like growing up, being the kid who liked Star Wars, you were like the outcast because Star Wars had been a thing for like 10 years. But being Lucas's age, of course, Lucas had the special editions and the prequels and stuff like that when most geeks are finding their geekdom. So it wasn't so strange to be into that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's kind of nice when your fanboy thing becomes popular so you can talk to other people about it.
Yeah, exactly. One thing that I was going to say that really bothered me when I had the Wii and the Wii U, I didn't notice it on the GameCube, I don't know if it was a thing or not, would be when a video game would come out and it would say available on all major platforms. And it would have a picture of Xbox and it would have a picture of PlayStation. And I'd be like, my Wii is a major platform. Like my Wii U is a major platform. Right. You may not want to admit it is, but it is clearly a platform. Like, why are you saying this? And it's stupid. But I was a stupid kid. That's where I was with that. But now when I see a game being advertised for all major platforms, there's a little Switch logo on there. Sometimes the Switch comes before the Xbox. Like, that's really cool. I like that we're finally considered like part of the group again, It's a warm, fuzzy feeling.
Mm-hmm. For sure. So I guess in closing, since we have about 5 minutes left on this topic, but I just kind of wanted to bring it back even further before the Switch was even launched to the rumors, and remember how we felt before the Switch was launching, how we were speculating, oh my gosh, there's going to be a difference between a handheld and dock mode. It's going to be ridiculous. It's going to be at a clock speed. And everybody was speculating. Everybody was expecting the worst. Everybody was well, maybe not everybody, but I do remember a large majority of Nintendo fans and video game fans in general kind of being down on the Switch before it launched, and then as it got closer, and then the hype train started to roll up. I remember that very first video. Yeah. Maybe it was the first video of the Joy-Cons with him shaking the ice cubes, and then that's when it started clicking.
I remember exactly where I was when that video came out. I was sitting in the parking lot because my boss told me come in an hour late, like 10 minutes before I was supposed to be there. So I just like hung out at the shopping mall parking lot, and I think it was Mike texted me a video of like the Switch thing. He was like, "It's here," and I'm like, "Let me look at it." And I watched it, and I was like, "This is what I need in my life." And then I watched it like 20 more times because that was the point where the thing really turned around.
I went so far as to download the Switch reveal trailer because it was just so like it was just the perfect way to introduce Nintendo to a new audience, and I'm like, the music was great. The these things, were just like, I'm like, this is so cool. I could sit and watch this over and over again.
Right. Yeah, and it was like for one of the first times I remember, anyways, in a long time, Nintendo in their advertising. I know it probably doesn't mean as much, but it's seemingly not targeting a younger audience, like kids, like like what they normally would with like a DS or 3DS, like they're going after me and I'm listening.
Right.
Hey, all you college-age young men and women, get on your rooftops and have a party. And like, it felt it was very millennial oriented.
I was going to say, hey, all you millennials. I was actually, the diamond industry and buy a Switch.
I was actually really opposed to it when the rumors first started, because I remember having my Wii U for like 2 or 3 years and people saying like, "Hey, did you hear they're working on a new system?" And I'm like, "No, because I just bought this one and I don't want to have to pay like $300 for a new system." And like, I was really like opposed to the idea. When they finally made the announcement, I think, what was the Wii U? Was it like 5 or 6 years old?
Gosh, it came out in 2012. So so
5 years old.
5 years, yeah.
I was like right at the point where I was like, okay, I guess I get it, but like I don't really want it. Because like I want my systems to last, And when you buy a system and then you buy a new system a couple of years later, it's like, okay, so now when are they going to rip me off with the next one? And I think I specifically remember thinking, how long is this system going to last before they say, okay, well, now you need to buy this new system because this system flopped too. Luckily, that's not the case, and it looks like the Switch is going to be around for a while. But I was kind of pissed at the beginning.
It doesn't even have to be a.
And that's how Justin died. But
this is going to be out.
Anyhow, but yeah, no, I'm right there with you, buddy. Like I was kind of burned with the Wii U. Not that I didn't like it. Like I really enjoyed everything about. I can't say everything about it. I enjoyed a lot of the games that I got to play on that. I enjoyed a lot of the experiences about it. There's Justin. I see him again. He's live with us. But yeah, I did feel burned for sure. Like, the Wii was around for much longer than the Switch or than the Wii U ever was, right? So, like, I expected the Wii U to get at least a few more years out of it, but like that didn't happen, and here we are. But oh, goddamn, we've already talked 35 minutes about this topic. But yeah, so I was extremely ready to not trust Nintendo with their new console, but here we are, and I think we can all say that we love the Switch right now. So it's great. It's a great feeling for sure. Do you guys have any closing thoughts?
I mean, I always knew that I was going to want whatever the NX was going to be because I wanted the games for it. Like I have every single Nintendo system, including a Virtual Boy, because I love Nintendo games. I'm just happy that, like last generation, whatever Nintendo, because of years, all I had was a Wii U. I still don't have an Xbox One. I still don't have a PS4, and I just felt like I was missing out on so much. And it was like being the unpopular kid. I was the Star Wars geek when nobody else knew what Star Wars was. I've got the Wii U and I've got my 2-3 games a year, and nobody else has one, and it's just nice for the thing that I love and the thing that I'm excited about and the games that I love playing to be popular enough that other people are playing them. Now other people are talking about them. Other people,
right.
Want it. And it's exciting to be a part of that again for the first time in over a decade.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Lucas, you have any closing thoughts before I move on to Nintendo's?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we kind of covered everything. I was skeptical. Now I'm not. I really like it. I hope it sticks around for a while. And Justin apparently really hopes that Hamill is listening because he's brought up Star Wars twice.
Hadn't actually thought about that. Yeah, thank you, JC Beast, for advertising us to Mark Hamill, who liked the tweet, by the way. So if you're listening out there, Mark, feel free.
Oh. I'm just going to say that 1 in a million chance that somebody famous is listening to us instead of watching the myriad of quality television shows that I'm sure he could be choosing. But hey, we're entertaining. We're fun. We're a cool bunch of dudes. Anyway.
Awesome. Well, we're going to take a little break here. We're going to upgrade Justin's bandwidth, and we'll be right back with Nintendo's.
Yeah, because I didn't hear the last thing that Lucas said. I heard like a couple of words and then and then
yeah, you just kind of you froze out on us, so we figured we would just kind of make it work.
Yeah.
But also,
by the way, Hacks. Oh, I was just going to say, by the way, Hacks. Yeah, no news this week. We decided to roundtable it because it was a kind of a light news week. So this was actually kind of the biggest news of the week.
Yeah. Andy would like to say that he is famous, and for us to not include him in that list is blasphemous.
Does anybody need the restroom before we go? Move on?
I can wait until after Nintendo's.
Cool.
Okay, if you get up and leave halfway through, we're just going to keep going without you.
Oh,
I'll just keep guessing.
I gotta get my scorecard out, don't I?
So it's just gonna be me and Justin. This is gonna be weird.
Yeah. Well, when I realized that it was gonna be a 2-person show, I tried to, or a 2-person Nintendo's guessing. I tried to kind of even it out between what I thought both of you guys would get. So we'll see.
So basically, half of the songs are from before I was born, and half of the songs are from my lifetime. I'm more worried about next week when I think Justin is hosting, because like it's just gonna be you and me, and you're the only one who gets Justin songs anyway. So it's just gonna be me sitting there like this, playing my Switch while Eugene guesses all the games.
Oh God, I remember the last time I hosted and it was just you and Eugene, and you just basically sat there and sulked for a half hour.
There's nothing to do. It's like all of your games have 8-bit soundtracks, and I'm like, okay, well, this is clearly from the 80s or early 90s. Like,
that's not true. One of them was a recent game, I think.
So I'm going to try. I was just going to say I'm going to try a thing where I use the Nintendo's audio to bring us in. So then that's one less thing that I have to edit into the show. I don't know how it's going to work. It might suck, and I might have to do more editing because of it. But yeah, let's give it a shot. Can you guys hear this, by the way? Let's see.
I can't hear anything because it just got.
Yes.
Is the volume okay?
Quiet.
It's low.
Okay, let's adjust the volume.
Quiet.
Better?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds
okay.
So
I mean,
I think you decided you don't like the instrumental of Jump Up Superstar to introduce Nintendo's.
Well, wait, did we ever do that?
Yeah, I did that one week.
I never remember that being a thing. Are you sure you didn't dream this? Because I have Infendo dreams sometimes.
I did it in the live show, but it wasn't in my recording, so Eugene probably replaced it with Grunty's.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Do you ever listen to the show, Justin?
Not usually. I mean, I wanted to go back. I've wanted to go back and listen to the episode that I missed, but I haven't. I just don't have the time for it most of the time.
Sure. Oh, yeah, because every Nintendo's opens the same way. Like there's literally the same amount of time that plays, and then I edit in the talking and everything like that. So it's kind of a a theme, I guess. I don't know if it's
change it up, Eugene. We're sick of the status quo. We want new music, new compositions, whole new crew. Fire us. Get some new people in here.
Somebody
hit ideas.
Somebody hit up Grant Kirkhope on Twitter and see if he'll write us a theme.
No, see if he'll co-head. Forget that. If Game Grumps could get him, so can we.
All right. We're going to get started. I'm going to make a note in my Audacity.
To cut all that crap out.
Yeah, it just says, I hate Justin and Lucas. Nintendo starting.
At least I went second. That means he likes me more.
All right, let's get rolling. Let me make that note.
I am seriously gonna shut up now.
Hello, everybody. We are ready to play Nintendo's. Justin has completely shut up and avoided any scrutiny. I don't even know what words I'm trying to say right now, but here we are. This is Nintendo's. If you've never joined us before and you don't know what Nintendo's is, I'll explain it to you. I have a list of songs ready to rock and roll, and these fine gentlemen are going to try and guess those songs, or what games those songs are from. I think I have 12 at this point because we had a late submission from one of our patrons. Speaking of our patrons, if you would like to submit a song as well, you can too by going to patreon.com/InfendoRadio. So, without further ado, get your asses ready, guys. I have a theme this week. Aside from the Patreon suggestions, my theme is these are all games that I never actually owned. Well, I own some of them now, but at the time, I never owned them. I went to a friend's house and played them and always wanted to own them in my childhood, So this is me going and revisiting my childhood with games I never got to actually own at the time. So,
all right.
Without further ado, here is our first song. Yeah, it's not really, that theme ain't going to help you much, but, here we go. This first song is for me. Yeah, sure. Here's our first track. Let me know how the volume is.
F-Zero?
Not F-Zero.
Damn it.
But I guess it kind of sounds like it.
Shit. It's not that other Mode 7 racing game that Hal made that I can't think of the name of, is it?
No, it wouldn't be Mode 7 because this game appeared on the Nintendo 64.
This is 64?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Here is your next track. How's the volume?
Quiet?
Yeah, wasn't sure whether it was low or my internet was crapping out on me again.
I think it's low.
Bump it up some.
Okay.
Oh, that's good. I like that. So it is a racing game, I'm guessing.
It is not a racing game.
Really?
Mm-hmm. All right, your next hint is that I played this game for the first time on the Wii U Virtual Console.
Ooh.
This is Kirby 64.
It is not Kirby 64.
That does really limit our options, though.
Phantom and Jay-Z Beast are both wrong in the chat. Phantom, it is not Cruisin' USA. Jay-Z, it's not Cruisin' Japan. And Phantom, it is not Cruisin' Serbia. Sorry.
We also established it's not a racing game, so please stop guessing cruising games.
I'm pretty sure half of those games don't actually exist.
All right, here's your next track.
Yeah. I would have been really pissed if this was Kirby 64. I know this! Bomberman 64!
It is Bomberman 64! Very nice.
I think I've used this as background music in an Infendo Plays before.
All right. Well, that puts Lucas in the lead. Very nice. Yeah, I never got to play Bomberman 64 except for at like friend's house. Because you know, we have this one friend between our friend group that owned the game. So like, why did we all need to own it? You know, we just brought his cartridge over. You know, but I still would have been
okay.
Can I interrupt Nintendo's for a related anecdote?
Please.
She loves editing.
I'll keep it in if you want. All right. Back in 1999, I flew down to Florida
and died.
I thought it was going to be the internet problem.
I didn't hear all of your anecdote, Justin, but we're going to assume that...
I stopped talking because I can't concentrate over your music.
I'll pause my music. Justin went to Florida. He couldn't. He had ADD. Okay. He discovered.
Okay. All right. So 1999, I go down to Disney World with my brother, and we have a cousin so many times removed who used to be a background artist at the animation studio that was in Disney World. They've closed it since, but
that's cool.
You know, anyone who's been to Disney World or went years ago knows there used to be a tour of the animation studio. Well, we got the tour actually inside the animation studio from the, you know, like when you look through the window at all the artists sitting at their desks, we were back there where we were. So he's giving us a tour of the animation studio, and he brings us around to a break room, and I look in there, and there's a bunch of
giant monsters, and they ate everyone. There were no survivors.
I assume he's still talking.
Justin, come back. You can blame it all on me. There was something in everything about you. Justin, come back. Any kind of fool could see that I was wrong, and I just can't live without you.
Dong, 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 dong.
Well, Sunday morning, I woke up missing my Justin something fierce. I decided to go on I don't know. I have nothing.
Can anyone hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. All right. I was recording through that whole thing. Anyway, the short version of the story is my cousin brought us around to a break room. They were all playing Bomberman 64. He said it's one of their favorite games to play. It's all in my recording. And now I can hear you guys. So let's play Nintendo's.
Totally forgot that story was supposed to be about Bomberman. Anyway.
All right. Well, we're back. And the next track comes...
I'm glad that I got dropped during my story instead of during a round, at least.
I'm hoping you get dropped during a round and I win all the rounds. But let's do round number 2.
Yeah, so this round number 2 comes courtesy of Hax Life, who is our executive producer. So thank you, Hax, for submitting a track. Here we go.
Wait,
too loud?
No, familiar.
Want to move out of this guy?
No, I don't know this. I thought I knew this.
What's another RPG?
Sounds like it.
I've never played it. Let's take a look.
It's a little loud, by the way.
Okay, let me turn it down a bit. Let me turn it down a bit.
Is this... Oh god, is this 5 minutes in the dungeon or something? Is it that game?
5 minutes in heaven?
It is not. Here's the next track. And your first hint. This game is a DS game. However, this actually might be music from the PSP version of the game. I'm not quite sure.
Sounds pretty high end for a DS.
Yeah.
So, just a Persona.
Not Persona. This game was
Shin Megami Tensei.
DS, and it was developed or published by Atlas.
So Shin Megami Tensei.
It's not.
All right, what other?
Were those even on the original DS?
I think so. I don't know, but it's a very Japanese RPG sounding thing. So I'm just going with what I know.
I don't know. It's sounding pretty Nintendogs to me.
So if you want the genre, I'm ready to give it to you. It's a weird one. This game, I will give you the actual name, is a strategy shooter role-playing game. Hybrid.
Strategy shooter what? Hybrid?
Role-playing.
Strategy shooter role-playing game hybrid, and it was developed by Steam Entertainment. Apparently, Hax has talked about it a lot, so he's listened to Hax get in his head.
Really? Strategy shooter hybrid.
Here's the next track.
I honestly know nothing that Atlas has ever made besides Persona and Shin Megami Tensei and their various spin-offs. So, Lucas?
The only other Atlas game.
It's a tile-based strategy bullet hell game. With an
bullet hell.
Mechanic of controlling a player with a touch screen to dodge bullets. Sounds interesting.
And it's tile-based?
Yeah.
That does not go with bullet hell.
Yeah, what? I was a little confused by that as well.
I'm not sure I know of this game, or if I do, I heard about it like once through Phantom.
Here's the next track. I'm going to give you 2 more tracks. I'll try and give you some more hints, but I don't know that you guys are going to get this guy. Actually, either, to be honest with you. Okay, so generally the game is divided into 3 separate screens. The setup, which consists of the player preparing for the battle, the tactics screen, which shows a preview of the scenario, and the battle. Except otherwise noted, the game is fully controlled by the Nintendo DS touchscreen throughout all the areas.
It's not like The World Ends With You or something, is it? Does that have a ton of mechanics I didn't know about?
Yeah, that kind of sounds like it, but it's not that.
Basically, this sounds like a Fire Emblem with a bullet hell. Toho? Is it one of the Toho games?
It's not Toho. I guess that I'm wrong. It just didn't. Oh, it says that it came to the PSP. So yeah, it must have been. So I don't know how it would have worked with the touchscreen mechanics on the PSP, but I guess.
And I'm back.
Didn't even know you were gone.
All right,
not like it mattered.
Yeah, you're probably right. I don't know that anybody's gonna get this. It's got rad music.
I like it.
It sounds like every other incredibly Japanese game I've ever heard.
Yeah, exactly.
It's either RPG battle music or bullet hell music.
All right, do you guys give up here? All right, this game was called Nights in the Nightmare. Apparently, it was part of the Department Heaven series or DEPT period Heaven series. Oh my goodness.
I have never heard Phantom talk about this. I am convinced he's making that up. Oh, Hacks! I thought you said Phantom talked about it.
I've never heard anyone talk about this, including other people in gaming.
All right, so we are going to move on to our next track. This one comes from me. I got to play this game a bunch at a buddy's house, and we never actually made it to the end. Or maybe he did, I don't know, but I never did with him. So here's our next track. I believe this is round 3, by the way. So first hint. Oh wait, I picked the wrong one. Just kidding. This one is actually a patron suggestion. So this one is actually coming to us from Phantom. Sorry,
you don't know what games.
No, I picked I double clicked on the one right below it. So here's Phantoms instead, apparently.
And once again, it is still not Adian Chronicles, correct?
No, it is not.
Okay.
My bad. Okay, so first hint. This game was a multi-platform game, and it came in the GameCube generation.
Is it like Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, Fire and Ice? Is that a game?
It might be, but it ain't that. All right, here's your next track. Right, there we go. So try and get into Phantom's head here. Just a little bit. Your next hint is, well, I guess I already told you it was multi-platform, but it released on the PlayStation 2, Xbox, GameCube, but there was also a Game Boy Advance version of this game, interestingly enough.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
It's Phantom, so I have to ask, RPG or something different?
So this game is categorized as an action role-playing hack and slash video game.
What?
Okay.
That is a lot of qualifiers.
No, that game hasn't even come out yet.
So this game was published by Black Isle Studios and developed by Snowblind Games, or Snowblind Studios, rather.
Does nothing for me. This is the problem with me and Justin. We just sit around and wait for us to think of something. We don't shout it out. So, like, the show is just us sitting here thinking.
Well, and I can't think of any of these because none of these are even within genres that I play, let alone franchises.
Well, I'm trying to think of GameCube games. There's so many GameCube games.
Sure. So I don't know if this helps at all, but the GameCube port was handled by High Voltage Software.
That helps a little bit. I know some of the stuff they've done. All right, give me the rundown of the clues just to make sure I didn't miss anything.
It's an action RPG hack and slash multi-platform game. The Nintendo games that appeared on were Game Boy Advance and GameCube, and that thing that he just said about action slash or whatever the company, High Voltage.
High Voltage, yeah.
See, I can think of hack and slash games from High Voltage, but they're not multi-platform. I can think of multi-platform games from High Voltage, but they're not.
Okay, but only the GameCube port was handled by High Voltage.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't help me. It should help me, but it doesn't.
I can't think of a single hack and slash game on the GameCube, so I'm screwed.
Is it Gauntlet something or other? Gauntlet Dark, whatever it's called.
It's not, but oddly enough, you're kind of in the right ballpark there. This game did have co-op and multiplayer. I'm not sure if that helps at all.
Dragon's Gauntlet. Age of the Gauntlet.
No.
Glove of Hope.
No. So I guess my next hint, maybe one of my final hints, is that this game was this game series is traditionally thought of as a PC genre.
Civilization? Did they ever have a hack and slash on the GameCube?
The Sims.
Yeah, that Sims Dragon's Dogma.
All right, we giving up here?
I got nothing. Sorry, listeners, you're too smart for us. What is it?
So Hacks actually got it in the chat. This game is Baldur's Gate: Dark Alliance.
Oh my god, I had Baldur's Gate as a kid. But it was not a hack and slash. It was a point-and-click RPG because I had an old version.
Yep, the PC games are much different, yeah. Well,
I never would have ever guessed that in a million years. But I did have one of them.
All right, so here comes the next track. This one comes from me. I kind of think this one's going to be a quick one, but let's find out. Again, a game that I never owned in its time, but wanted to. How's volume?
Funky-licious. President
Sounds familiar.
By ninjas. Are you a bad enough dude to rescue him? Oh wait, this does sound oddly familiar. It's not Glover.
It's not Glover, but you got the right console. This is a Nintendo 64 game.
No, see, I was thinking Super Nintendo. God, they sound so similar sometimes.
I'm on the ball.
Is this Rayman 3 or 2?
It is not.
Is it the Sim? No, there was no Sims on N64. Was there a Sim City on N64?
On the DD.
Yeah, but this is not it, though.
Something
Here's the
tells me
next
Eugene
track.
didn't have access to a DD when he was a kid.
No.
How's the volume? Need to go up a bit?
It's okay to me
Seems good right now.
when I don't lean on the squeaky table.
Yeah, I'm playing with my Switch game case here, and it's probably all sorts of clicking noises in my recording.
So I'm going to tell you one of the developers, Paradigm Simulation. Don't know if that's going to help at all.
That
Okay.
sounds familiar.
All of a sudden, the music sounds very Mario Golf.
What was the? Did we have genre already?
No genre.
All right.
I guess genre would be a simulation game.
Huh. That was closer than I thought with The Sims and SimCity.
Yeah. And he
This
didn't have
game
access
was-
to a 64 DD, so it's not Doshin the Giant.
Right.
Can we get another track?
Yeah, I'll give you another track here. I thought this was going to be faster than it was. I'm glad it's taken a little bit.
And you're sure this isn't SimCity?
Positive.
Because this sounds
I'm
almost
not sure.
exactly like a track from SimCity 2000.
I'm not sure if either of us played this. It's not Animal Crossing, is it? No, that sounds way off.
Again,
It's
DD.
not.
But it sounds very much like a Totaka score.
I'm trying to think
Um,
of sim games that were on the N64.
This the composer was Dan Hess. I don't know who that guy is, but that's who it was.
Oddly enough, that sounds familiar, but definitely not a. What's his name there?
And you thought that
All right.
was going to go quick, so this must be a relatively popular game.
Yeah, the fact that you're surprised we haven't gotten them yet vexes because
Or it's just one of those games that Eugene played as a kid that he thinks was really popular, but you know.
Actually, I don't think this game was very popular, to be quite honest. I don't know that it was very highly received, but I did like it. Actually, no, it got pretty good scores when it came out. I'm looking at that. I guess it was relatively well received. Here's your next track.
Love the music. It's not Pilot Wing 64, is it?
It is Pilot Wing 64.
Never played it!
I think you got that while Justin died too.
I swear, he comes back and he's like, I also said Pilot Wing 64.
and I'm back.
I got it.
Oh, that's fair.
Did you also say it?
I couldn't hear anything. I was gone for 30 seconds.
Well, if it's any consolation, I didn't get it by the music. I got it by the hints.
What
Would
was
you have
it?
gotten it from this?
What was it?
Well, see if you can guess it. Bonus round.
If I get it, do we tie? Or do
No,
we
I
both
still
get a
win.
point?
I still win. You
To be
beat better
fair,
internet.
I saw when you froze, Justin, and it was like right as kind of Lucas was about to guess it. So like, it is Pilot Wing 64.
Oh, why didn't I think of that?
I know. As soon as I put it all together and the music started playing, and I was like, sim games, but not like life sims, like flight sims. And then it all clicked.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to our next track. This one is going to be a patron suggestion. I think this is going to be a tough one, but let's see. This one comes from Jay-Z Beast. And sorry, Jay-Z, by the way, you gave me like specific tracks, but I couldn't find them on the YouTube. It just said like track 1, track 2, track 3, track 4. So I kind of just had to go with it. So sorry about that. But this one, regardless, comes from Jay-Z Beast. We'll go with track 7. How's the volume?
Turn it up.
Yep.
I can hear myself. Hang on.
Oh, Justin's in here twice.
That's not it.
I'll wait for Justin.
Can you mute me?
I just did.
Thank you. All right. So, in the event that I freeze, I will just switch over to my phone.
That works.
Okay.
So,
It's not Bomberman, is it?
No, it's not.
Dr. Mario, some nonsense, is it?
It is not. Okay, so first hint. Oh, excuse me. This first hint. This game appeared on the Game Boy Advance. I'm going to move on to another track.
The fact that the tracks aren't named tells me this probably wasn't a very big name game. Is this like M&M kart racing for the Game Boy Advance, or M&M tennis, or golf?
No, those are games that you wish you had, not games that Eugene wishes he had.
Well, this one came from Jay-Z Beast.
And I know Jay-Z Beast is the troll of Discord, so I can see him pulling that.
It is not that. It is a licensed game, though.
Chester Cheeto's Big Day Out.
No.
Joe Camel's Smoke-a-thon. Sesame Street.
It is not Sesame Street. Here is the next track. Okay, so I will give you your first hint on developer, I guess. The developer of this version, the GBA version, is Vicarious Visions. The publisher is Activision. There are 2 publishers, though, and I won't give you the second one until later on, because it might give it away.
Star Wars. Spider-Man. That's all the Activision games I know.
And that was actually a Vicarious Visions game, if I'm not mistaken. So that I'm trying to think. I know the name of the developer for a few things.
Here's your next track. So this game came out on everything. This game came, well, obviously the Game Boy Advance version was different, but it came out on GameCube, PlayStation 2, Xbox, Game Boy Advance, as I already said, Windows, and OS X.
I don't know, Finding Nemo.
Nope.
And it wasn't Spider-Man, you said, right?
Not Spider-Man.
Not Spider-Man.
It's not Tony Hawk Pro Skater, is it?
It's not Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Is it Skittles, the game?
It is not Skittles. Here's your next track. I think as we get to because I'm going backwards in the tracks that I downloaded, I think as we go to track 1, you might start recognizing the theme. So here we go.
Inspector Gadget.
Not Inspector Gadget.
Okay, it was something that was totally funky fresh, because these tunes.
So genre on Game Boy Advance was platformer. Not that, I don't know.
Shark Tale?
not Shark Tale.
How is
No
that a
platform.
platformer?
That's a swim-former.
It could be a platformer. It's Shark Tale. It could make it garbage on the Game Boy. You expect them to adhere to physics? The Simpsons.
So JC Beast is telling me that he thinks track 2 is going to be a dead giveaway. So that's actually, I'm on track 3. So we're about to find out, folks. Here's track.
Do we have any more clues before we get the dead giveaway?
Yeah, but I think that my last clue is going to be even worse of a giveaway. So let's play the music.
Song. Turn it up. Shrek. It's Shrek. It's Shrek. It's Shrek. I don't know which Shrek, but it's Shrek. And Justin freezes every time I get an answer.
I'm not frozen. I'm frozen in stone. What of this made you think of Shrek?
It's the theme song.
I'll be honest, as much of a film score buff as I am, I would never have recognized the Shrek theme.
Okay, so you have to understand, I saw Shrek when I was a young boy with my uncle for the first time, and then he took me out to the store and he bought me a Game Boy or Game Boy Advance game. And then I demanded that I see Shrek every 3 minutes of every day. And then I got the VHS and I watched it every 3 minutes of every day. And I think I saw the movie about 20 times by the time I was an adult, quote unquote. So like Shrek is my memes aside, Shrek was my thing as a kid.
Well, technically this was Shrek 2, but I'm gonna give it to you anyways. But yeah, definitely Shrek. Awesome. Justin, do you have a score update for us?
Hang on.
Lucas ready, Justin
actually, not really, because hang on. I'm trying to switch to my phone full time, and I'm just hearing my own voice here. Yeah, I have no score update because like the last 3 rounds I've cut out before I knew what was going on. So
I know I got 2 of them.
I have 0.
I know I got the first one, and I know I got the first one. I know I got this one. I know I didn't get Haxes and I didn't get Phantoms. What was the other one you had, Eugene? Oh, Pilot Wings. I have 3 points.
Yeah, so
that's
you got
about
Shrek,
what I was going to estimate.
Shrek, Pilot Wings, and Bomberman. Yeah, okay.
I'm running away with this, where I only have 1 competition.
Well, we're starting to get into some Justin tracks here, perhaps.
All right, before we get into those, hang on.
He's like, fuck this, I'm getting ready.
Can't all the songs be Shrek? Can we just do that?
You're right. Okay, looks like Justin's got 4 sets of headphones in. We are fucking ready. So here comes the next track. This one actually is a Patreon suggestion, but I still think it's going to be in Justin's wheelhouse.
Also, Justin is muted on both ends. So.
Oh. Wait, yeah, let's wait.
Unmute the one on my phone.
I don't think I can.
Really?
Yeah.
You can hear me now?
You just did. Yep.
Okay. That'll work. I guess I'm doing it the old mic way.
All right, here we go. Here's the next track.
Shit, I know this. I know this already.
Not Mother 1.
Mario Clash.
It is fucking Mario Clash.
What even is Mario Clash?
It is a Virtual Boy game.
Really?
Yep.
That first
one,
the first track you played was the boot up. Don't play too long or you'll go blind screen.
I like this song.
I honestly, so I didn't even get to say who this was from, but this one came from Minus64.
Thank you, Minus.
And I couldn't find like actual soundtrack. It's just like all in one. So this is what you get. All right, very nice. Justin gets on the board with Mario Clash. Well done. All right.
Oh, now I have to switch apps so that I can actually keep score.
Oh, God. I'll keep score, Justin. Don't worry about it. I got you. So Lucas has 3. Justin has 1. And we are moving on to our next round.
Can I propose that we give Steve a point just for the sake of consistency?
Absolutely. 1 point for Steve as well. Here we go.
All right.
Okay, so this one is going to become from me. I don't know that anybody's going to get this game, so I'm going to give you some copious amounts of hints. Here we go.
I love copious amounts.
This is not working.
Turn it up. Turn up that jam.
I'll turn it up. All right.
Not bonk.
Not bonk. No. So your first hint is that this game appeared on the Nintendo 64.
I feel like I have a distinct advantage because your childhood was also around my childhood.
Sure.
Well, I spent a lot of time on the N64, so.
All right, here's your next track.
No shit, I know this.
Oh yeah, get funky.
I would
Dr.
be
Mario.
surprised. Oh no, not Dr. Mario. Justin, I would be surprised if you played this game, but very impressed.
This definitely sounds familiar.
Sonic 64.
It is not Sonic 64.
Sonic 64.
Damn.
Sega was still making their own systems back then.
Here's your next track. Sadly.
All these songs sound the same.
Maybe I already played this one. Let's play the next one. Sorry.
Windows.
So this was a multi-platform game. The Nintendo 64 game had its own soundtrack for obvious reasons, but this game appeared on the Nintendo 64, the PlayStation, the Saturn, the Super Nintendo, surprisingly, the Mega Drive / Sega Genesis, Game Boy, and freaking Windows.
The Super Nintendo and the N64?
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't a very high quality game.
Well, fuck you, because I love this game.
I mean, it had to be, if it could run on the Super Nintendo, it had to be a simple game.
Much different version. So, like, the Nintendo 64 and the PlayStation version were much different. Same with the Nintendo 64. Here's the next track. So your next hint is... Sorry, go ahead.
If I do not know this game, I'm going to need to know the composer because this sounds so familiar.
So your next hint is that this game was a sports title.
NBA Jam.
NFL Blitz?
NBA.
Not NFL Blitz.
NBA.
Sports games I've played.
99. Soccer.
Okay, just naming the sport
FIFA.
I don't think counts.
FIFA 97, FIFA 98, FIFA 99.
I have to give it to you. It is FIFA game. This is FIFA 98, but it was called Road to the World Cup 98. Wow. Well done, Lucas.
Hey, I stole it.
Lucas is running away with this one. He's got 4 points.
All right, I'm turning off my video for a second because I need to look up the composer.
I can tell you, I have it right here.
It is.
Let's see. Oh, actually, I guess I don't have the composer. You're gonna have to do some more googling because it's not right in front of me.
All right, give me the name again.
Well, so the game, at least on the PlayStation version, actually had like actual tracks from like Blur and like like the Crystal Method and all that kind of stuff.
Was that N64 you were playing?
I was playing the N64 version, so I don't know who the composer was. I guess you'll have to do some digging for that. So, all right, here is our next track. This one also comes from me. I played this game to completion with my buddy in about a weekend. We freaking loved this game. So here we go. Here's our next track.
Duck Dodgers in the 24th and a half century.
No. Nice guess.
It was an N64 game.
This game was not an Nintendo 64 game.
Damn. Gaia?
It's not Illusion of Gaia.
No.
I didn't even hear that. I can barely hear the music, and I can't hear Lucas.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. All right, I'm going to try something. Hopefully, you don't lose me completely.
I like that my competition is like crippled right now.
I better change it before we get a copyright strike. Here's the next track.
There was never a Jet Set Radio on N64 or Nintendo, was there?
No, Sega was making their own systems.
Didn't know it was Sega. Stop being old.
You stop being a baby.
Never.
Sega did not start making games for other systems until like 2004 or 5.
This is not Sonic Heroes. Okay, so your first hint is, did I tell you the console yet?
You said it wasn't N64, so I'm assuming it was Super Nintendo.
No, it was GameCube.
All right.
The music is all over the place.
Right? So I guess your next hint is that this game, this is the first game in a series. And this game was a multi-platform game.
Like, was there a GoldenEye for the GameCube?
Wait, was this Time Splitters 2?
No.
Better not be. Good. Better not be.
Here's your next track.
Wipeout 64? No, it's not 64. Is it Wipeout? Is there a Wipeout game for the GameCube?
It is. If there was, it was not that. So this game was a single-player game. I played it with a buddy, and we passed it back and forth like, life or level. It was real fun.
I got nothing. Right. It's starting to sound like Donkey Kong Country. Like, that's how looped I'm getting.
Yeah, that's way off.
Okay, so I already told you that this was the first game in a long-running series. This game was considered, like, a lot of people considered it Game of the Year the year that it came out.
GameCube game? It's not Perfect Dark again, is it?
It's not. Here's your next track. This was a multi-platform game, so it appeared on PlayStation, Xbox, GameCube, and surprisingly enough, also Game Boy Advance.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, all right. Well, there goes my next guess.
Later games in the series. featured, no, not Tomb Raider. Later games in the series featured co-op multiplayer. I don't know if that helps at all.
I don't think Lucas is listening to the clues anyway, based on his guesses.
Well, I mean, he said it was a multi-platform game from the GameCube era, so Tomb Raider.
Here's your next track.
See, my problem is I don't know what games were on like other systems that weren't Nintendo. So multi-platform just tells me it wasn't a Nintendo game.
Okay, I'm going to give you guys a pretty strong hint here, so get your buzzers ready.
Do we have genre?
The genre.
Okay.
The genre is a stealth.
Metal Gear Solid.
Not Metal.
Okay. No, I was just about to say Twin Snakes.
Not Second Sight. That wasn't a series.
Here's your next track. Running out of tracks here. Too.
Oh, Tom Clancy Rainbow Six or whatever. Tom Clancy Ghost Recon. No.
Nope. Sorry.
Splinter Cell.
It was fucking Splinter Cell. Lucas, you did it. You got that. You got him there.
No,
I hope you know.
Is Splinter Cell also with Tom Clancy?
Yes.
I have no idea.
Tom...
I played a Tom Clancy game.
Woohoo! Thank you, Lucas, for giving me my second point.
It's okay. I stole freaking whatever I stole a couple turns back, FIFA, just by blindly guessing. So it's all good.
All right. We're going to move on to our next track.
God, this is taking forever.
I believe that we're coming to a close here. We've only got a few more left. I just want to make sure I got all the Patreon suggestions. Looks like I have.
And I'm making sure I'm still recording, and I am.
Thank the Jesus. All right, I've got 3 more. I think I'm only going to play. I got 2 more. Or no, I've got 3 more, actually. So, Justin, you actually still have a chance here. Although here, I think these ones are going to be a little tough. This one, Justin, is probably, if anybody's going to get it, it's going to be you. So here we go.
Oh. Wait.
Oh, God.
Not like Tiny Toons Adventure, Mickey Mouse Capades, Mickey Mouse 2, Mickey Mouse.
This isn't Clay Fighter or one of those play games.
You guys are actually. I'm not going to give you any hints yet until we get some more music because you guys are like.
We're right on it.
Banging on the door.
You're not far, you guys aren't far off with some of your guesses. Here's our next track. I've actually got quite a bit of music from this game, so I really like it. No.
Buster Bugs Back.
I guess I'll give you your first hint, though, that this game was based off of a license.
Not Bart's Nightmare, is it?
It's not. Here's our next track.
Obviously, I feel like I've played this once. Super Nintendo?
Was Banjo-Kazooie on Super Nintendo?
It's not.
Conker? No, that wasn't a Super Nintendo game, was it?
Nope, and it's not a license. Alright, so this game was based off of a... This game was based off of a television show license. Here's the next track.
Ghostbusters.
It's not.
Quantum Leap.
Shit, how old do you think I am?
Pretty freaking old.
Real Monsters?
You motherfucker! It is all Real Monsters.
Wow.
Like what
I'm not even
90s
mad
license
about
would
that.
be this cartoony but also this dark?
Well
done.
As soon as he said a television show, I shut out the possibility that it could still be a cartoon. Like, I was like, okay, so it's something.
I was
real.
wondering how you got the quantum leap.
I'm just guessing. Like, I was trying to think, what are old TV shows with people in them?
Let's see. They don't animate things on television ever.
I guess you could say I took the quantum leap on that one.
Shit. All right,
to an
Justin.
alternate universe where cartoons don't exist on television, apparently.
No, they
Justin, you're making a comeback here. You've got 3 points and Lucas has 4, so this could get quite interesting.
No, I
with
thought
2
that was
guesses
the type.
left. All right, so here's our next track. I'm going to give you the hard one first that I don't think you guys are going to get. So actually, they're both fucking hard. I don't think you guys are going to get any of this shit. So here we go.
All right, so that's the
Lucas
intentions, ladies and gentlemen.
Here's our first track.
Why does this sound like a Genesis game?
Why does this sound so familiar? Super off-road? No. Stupid. Stupid of me.
I'm waiting for him to just start smacking himself in the face.
Why does this sound so familiar?
Are we sure we're not playing the Genesis soundtrack here, whatever this is?
Maybe. I don't fucking know.
Super bowling. Super tennis. Super soccer, FIFA 95.
You
FIFA
do realize
94.
when you start doing this, all it does is cover up the music so I don't even have a chance of guessing.
Exactly.
Anything, right?
It's a tactical strategy.
All right, here's your next track.
All I gotta do is stall for time.
So when I asked if you were accidentally playing the Genesis soundtrack, you didn't undeniably say no, which means this was multi-platform.
It was multi-platform. So this game, you guys ready for the fucking platforms here? This game came out on Amiga, Sega Genesis, Game Boy, SNES, Game Gear, MS-DOS, Master System. Everything, dog.
I don't even know what half of those were. Is Amiga like the prototype for Amiibos?
That was a computer.
That played Amiibos? Cool.
Okay, your first hint, or your next hint, I guess, is that this is a sports title.
I'm out.
So I probably did play this at one point. It's not like ice hockey.
Next track. As a matter of fact, this game did include ice hockey in it.
Sports All-Stars mix. Olympics.
Oh no, actually, this one did not include ice hockey. I'm sorry.
Aren't you?
You are correct. Oh wait, you're not.
So I think this next track is going to be recognizable. So here we go. What I remember correctly.
I know this. Why do I know this?
I don't know. Was there a super track and field?
Yes.
Nope. It's not super track and field, but you're on the right track.
Super
It's
winter
not Olympics.
sports.
I guess I kind of. It isn't a. I guess I kind of got to give it. Did you say Olympics? It is an Olympics game.
Okay, here's the thing. He said Olympics, but
Lucas said Olympics quite a while ago.
I like how now that I said it, it's like, wow.
Well,
You're be ahead of me.
I didn't hear you say Olympics, to be fair, Lucas. Otherwise, I probably would have given it to you then.
He did say it first, but we never really landed on a specific title.
Justin, I admire your purity of heart. You are a true competitor and a sportsman. What is it then?
This game was called Winter Olympics Lillehammer 94.
I knew I played this. I loved this game as a kid.
You actually played this game?
I played the crap out of this game.
Yeah,
You had,
I love this game too.
Shooting, right? And you could do like skeet shooting. Yeah, I played this.
You never get to judge my my game library ever again.
Okay, so I like a game that is literally heralded the world over as the most important event of mankind, and that makes me weird.
All right, let's move on to our final track. I'm going to say,
which is a moot point anyway. But
I'm going to say that.
Give us both a point.
Yeah.
Give us both a point. Yeah. So I'm still ahead by. I'm still ahead by 1, but it's closer because if Justin gets this, then we tie.
Let's just do whatever gets it over with faster.
All right, so Justin has 4. Lucas has 5. Justin has, oh God, Eugene has 1 more track. And here we go. Quite honestly, I would fucking shit my pants if either of you guys got this one. But I'm shitting my pants that you even knew what that Olympics game was, Lucas, so that's pretty good.
Yeah. As we're listening to this, my dad owned a lot of games like from before I was born, and I played all of them. So like that was a thing.
Sure. Yeah, I love that game. I remember getting it. I didn't get it, but again, I played it at a friend's house. You know.
Shut up! I can't hear the music.
You shut up. We're having a moment.
I tried to have a moment earlier. My internet wouldn't let me.
All right, so here's your next track and your first hint. This game was developed and published by Koei.
Dynasty Warriors 64.
No, but you're actually kind of not far off. There was no Dynasty Warriors. There was no Dynasty Warriors 64, and this was a GameCube title.
Oh.
What'd you say, Lucas?
Said Mystical Ninja Goemon.
No.
I didn't even remember who releases those games.
I think it's the same people who do Bomberman, since he's in that game.
Here's your next track. This game was a fighting action game similar to the Dynasty Warriors series, actually. But you can perform like you can perform like melee attacks with like spells and stuff. So it was actually pretty cool.
Ronin. I'm just guessing Japanese words. Tetsuga.
I have no idea what you said, but no. So this game was also multi-platform. It released on the GameCube, the PlayStation 2, and oddly enough, again, the Game Boy Advance.
But no Xbox.
No Xbox. I guess if you remember back then, the Xbox didn't really get a lot of Japanese ports.
True.
Fire Emblem Ike.
Yeah, that's a PlayStation game.
Could be.
So you can play this game with up to 4 players. It was also single player, but the multiplayer is where it was at with me. Like we used to get a bunch of buddies together and just like, it's fucking great.
This is going to be one of those I don't know this game games, isn't it?
Perhaps. Very much. All right. Here is your next track. We're running out of tracks here. Running out of hints too. Gosh. I don't really have many more hints for you guys. There was a versus multiplayer mode in it. I didn't really like that much.
Got nothing, dude.
Yeah. I'm going to give you one more track, and then we're going to call it. Gosh. I just don't think you guys are going to get this. The box art, if I remember correctly, featured what looked like a bunch of like Dragon Ball Z looking motherfuckers.
I'm hearing the bell signifying that the round is starting. Is it my
No, that's my
WrestleMania?
Discord.
I was going to say, I think Eugene needs to turn on his notifications.
I honestly thought that was like a wrestling bell dinging.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't turn off my Discord noise without turning off the noise for the actual music with our setup. So
I'm going back to eating cookies now.
all right, I'm gonna guess nobody's gonna get this fucking game.
Yeah.
Which makes Lucas the winner. But before I tell you, play you out on your victory music, Lucas, I'm gonna tell you that this game was called Mystic Heroes. And it was actually a lot of fun. It was like I said, it was kind of Dynasty Warriors-esque, but it was, you could play with 4 players, so it was really cool. All right, well, we did it. Lucas is our winner. He is the Nintendo's champ for the week. How do you feel, Lucas? You've got another notch under your belt on that one.
I feel like I'm coming for you, Eugene. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna take you down. I'm gonna be the Nintendo's king of life. I need to carry on that legacy, so I plan to make it happen for all my fallen brothers. I killed Steve saying that I murdered him. He's never coming back.
I feel like Hax and I had a lot of similar gaming tastes because he saying that this was so good as well, and I completely agree. Like we would freaking drop playing Crystal Chronicles and like immediately pick up playing a game like this. Like you can't beat 4-player multiplayer like this.
Like I gotta be real. You and I actually have a lot more in common than I realized. Like we are very simpatico. Maybe that goes to both of our rather easygoing natures, but like we just like more stuff. But I feel like we would have been good friends as kids, even though I would have been like 6 when you were like 11. You know.
You're right. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna close it here. We're gonna take a little break, and we'll be right back with the question block. Cool. I do have to pee real quick, so I'll be right back. Okay, sorry.
I'll share a story while you're gone. So I used to play Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, as those of you who listen to the podcast know. And I'm glad I can say that when nobody else here is listening, so I don't get any grunts and groans. But one of my favorite things, and one of the reasons I kept coming back to it, was the chows, as I'm sure it was for all of you. I used to go over to my friend, Adam Agrisot. He was my best friend for years and years, all through high school. And I used to go over to his house, and he had a lot of older cousins or brothers or something that were like 18 or whatever when we were like little kids. And I used to kick their asses in the chow games. Like I trained up my chow, Zach. He was a little killer. And like legit, like I don't know if it was like patronizing adulthood stuff that I didn't realize as a kid, or if they were legit impressed, but like I was the chow guy, and that was a fun moment for me as a kid. So that's my story that you get about being the younger child of older gaming people. I'd like to think if Eugene and I were friends in real life back in the day, that would have been our thing. I would have been like, you want to see my chow? And he would have been like, Sonic sucks. And that would have been that. So never really know. Never really know. And then Eugene came back in the room and he put in his headphones.
And he's singing with him because it's a duet now. Didn't know that it was, but now it is.
Together in harmony, all of us. It's us, it's the Eugene.
Gonna sing the song, gonna wait for Justin to get back.
We're doing it wrong, waiting for Justin. I bet when he comes in, together,
we need that baritone voice of his.
What are you doing?
Epic. Why can't we sing it?
I love
Here
it.
We are.
Oh, take on me. Take on me. I'll be there in your dreams if you take on me. And
it's kind of difficult carrying
join with us, Justin. We gotta join in the song and dance for the song. Sing to us, here we are.
He's gone. He actually logged out of the call.
Are you through?
And then he came back and we started singing again.
I can drop out for the rest of the show. I don't care. I'm half asleep anyway.
Oh, goodness. Speaking of the outtakes track, for you guys listening, I'm going to try and get that up tomorrow. I have it edited. I just need to throw it on the channel. So I'll get that up for you guys tomorrow. But yeah, that's definitely going to be in fucking March's outtake track. You better fucking believe it.
Oh, you thought that was an outtake? I thought that was like quality show material.
All right, let's get back in business here. Let's see. I guess I should probably mark my show notes. Do you guys have the show notes open for the question block? There are 4 questions, so somebody's going to have to read 2.
Ooh, I'll take 2. I'll take 2.
Cool. Justin, do you want to go ahead?
Baby.
Justin, do you have a preference on questions?
It takes 2, baby. You cannot even complain about me singing right now, so...
If you have a preference on question, write your name by it. Justin, I guess I'll take the first one there unless somebody else wants to take it. And then we'll get right back into it. Awesome.
Justin
All right. So
looks like he took Phantoms, so I will take.
I didn't take that. I just kind of added my own little comment to it.
Hold on, let me get these animals out of here real quick.
That's fine. I'll take. Oh, well, you took the one I was going to take.
I don't really care. You can be Stinklewinkle Covey Poops if you want.
I guess I'll take the first 2 because Lucas already claimed the second 2. So.
Well, Eugene is going to read one of them. So.
Oh, I thought Eugene was just singing.
I don't mind if you want to read 2, Justin. That's fine. I can just toss you off to minus then, and then we can get rolling.
All right, whatever.
Cool. All right, we are back. Justin needs to
not drink his coffee so early on podcast evenings because I think I'm crashing.
I just downed 30 ounces of iced coffee, so I'm fucking ready, y'all. We're back. It is question block time. Justin is going to lead us away with Minus's question, so why don't you take us there, Justin?
All right. Minus asks, for some strange reason, is Yoshi a boy or a girl? Apparently a random question that came up at his workplace today, and the answer is whatever that particular Yoshi happens to be, because Yoshi is a species as well as the name of a particular character. So I'm assuming that since Yoshi is a species, it is either a sexual species with boys and girls or an asexual species, in which case it has neither.
Couldn't be more wrong.
So that is my scientific answer to that question.
Cute that you think that, but you could not be more wrong. Okay, so the deal is Yoshis are all
We are not
male.
going by the cartoon in this case, are we?
Hashtag gender equality. Male Yoshis can lay eggs because that's a thing. And nobody out there is saying they can't. There are no female Yoshis. They all died off before the first Super Mario Bros. Game. But the remaining Yoshis evolved to be able to fertilize their own eggs. So a Yoshi lays an egg and then fertilizes it when it's sitting there in the nest, and that's how Yoshi eggs are hatched.
I'm going to go completely on a different direction here, and I'm going to say that Yoshis are a species that are kind of like what Justin said. They're genderless. They just are. Yoshi is a Yoshi. So I don't think we have to. I don't think that unless Yoshi wants to identify as a boy or girl, maybe we don't have to force him to identify.
But it's Yoshi's right, and you just called it a him. So you are supposing gender onto a Yoshi that doesn't want to have its gender assumed.
I think
So
the big
shame on you.
question. I think the big question we have to ask is: are Yoshis actually using their unborn children as projectile weapons?
Absolutely.
Wouldn't you if you were able to?
Or I suppose it's their period, if in the case of them being female.
Let's
Oh,
not.
God.
It actually is going to bring up an interesting question, though. Like in the form of like, is the egg destined for birth, or is it just a throwaway egg if it's not properly fertilized? In which case,
I guess considering it makes the eggs out of whatever it eats, I mean, there's another direction we could go in that. But
is Yoshi a failed type of Star Warrior, and he comes from the same line as Kirby, or like how does that work?
Well, I always thought Yoshi was a Pokemon because it's an animal-like creature that can only say its own name.
I can see that.
Actually,
also, what do they eat in Dinosaur World? Do they like cook Yoshis, or do they just eat Stegosaurus and Brontosaurus?
Yoshi eats berries.
And fireballs.
Actually, Yoshi eats all sorts of fruits. Watermelons are the... Oh, come on. That was probably the most stimulating conversation we've had all day.
All right. Why don't you take us with our next question, Justin? This one comes from Phantom.
All right. If you could bring back a game developer or publisher who has died off, who would it be? Steve's answer is Iwata. I don't think that's quite the answer that Phantom was looking for, because having reread the question, I was thinking game designer, but game developer would be like the company that makes it. So I'm going to have to kind of rethink my answer.
I'll jump in then, because
go for it.
My first thought when this question got posed was, gosh, what games developers that I really, 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 really liked and played a lot of their games is now no more. First thing that popped up was Westwood Studios. I don't know if you guys have ever played the Command & Conquer games, but I used to be all about that shit. Like, that was between that and Dune. Those were the first two games that introduced me way back in the fucking dial-up era to online games, and I was fucking hooked. Like, I used to boot up Command & Conquer and play with a bunch of buddies. What was really cool when like Red Alert 2 and everything started coming out was that that was pretty much like the advent of like online game lobbies and like matchmaking and everything like that. At least that was for me. Like, that was my first experience into that. And I was like just blown away that I could just be in like a chat room with a bunch of people and like, talking shit about whose Rhino tank was killing whose Grizzly tank. So it was great.
I mean, I can think of a few just random things for random reasons. Nothing that like really passionately comes to mind. I mean, I suppose... Rare still exists, but not in the same form it was in the 90s. So, they'd be nice to have back. But the first developer that came to mind was Pandemic Studios. Mostly because it would have been nice to get a real Star Wars Battlefront and one available on all platforms. Because, the Battlefront games are still coming out on DS and PSP long after they stopped making them on consoles. So I imagine if Pandemic was still making them now, we probably would have gotten the Battlefront game on the Switch and maybe even on the Wii U. Another one that came to mind was Midway. Midway made a lot of my favorite
good answer.
Arcade games and arcadey games in the 90s. Especially, most famous for Mortal Kombat, but they also did the Rush series. They partnered with Nintendo on Cruisin' and Killer Instinct. They also had, their pinball games. And I think if there is a company that kind of screams 90s arcade fun, it was Midway.
Sure. Lucas?
I had to look up my company because I didn't remember who they were from their name. They're that obscure. And I don't even know if they're really dead. I know... Sorry, there was a sandstorm. I don't know if they're really dead, but I know that they haven't really done anything in a long while. I believe their name is pronounced Rakjin. They used to be Rakdim, but that was just a pronunciation error from like the English translation. They are the developers behind Snowboard Kids, which was one of my favorite games on the N64. Wow, my time is short.
Sorry.
The game was published by Atlas, and that's what I usually think of when I think of the series. But the actual developer behind it, who later went on to develop a bunch of obscure like Full Metal Alchemist games and stuff like that, was Rakjin. And for what it's worth, they probably made my favorite battle racing game of all time. I would love them to come back just for the sake of that. And I think they are technically still back, because all it says on their page on Wikipedia is that they were established like 23 years ago. I just don't think they're doing anything. I think they're like mercenary style, like hiring out. But I want my Snowboard Kids back. That was like my favorite game. I'd take it any day.
Snowboard Kids was rad. Yeah, Snowboard Kids was rad.
So that's my answer.
Awesome. Well, why don't you take us to our next question then, Lucas? This one comes from JZ Beast.
Right. Okay, JZ Beast asks, how would you guys feel if Nintendo did a mobile virtual console for NES games on smartphones? I'd eat that up.
Apathetic.
Admittedly, the worst thing about playing games on smartphones, well, besides the fact they just don't feel as tight as they do on like a regular system.
I mean, I suppose with 8-bit though controllers, it's probably more tolerable than touchscreen controls.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say, is that you really need to be invested in the mobile gaming market with something like that in order to really play a game like that and enjoy it. Unless they have some kind of like, maybe you have a phone that still has like a gamepad for some reason, but like by and large, people have these, all screen phones nowadays, and they're not that much fun to play on. So I don't think I would want to invest in. I have an 8-bit controller. I don't know if I really want to invest in like making it work with my phone. I think I'd just give up and be like, no, I'm good. Too hard.
Sure.
Probably not a big fan of it personally, but hey, it'd make tons and tons of noodles of money. On the downside, it might make our virtual console a little less special and make less of a reason to buy games on an actual Nintendo system.
And I think it would also dilute the brand and kind of generate some bad vibes. Nintendo already kind of hit a sour note with the Super Mario Run $10 full price game, which, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I think that was a perfectly reasonable price for what you got for the game. But I mean, for Nintendo to release subpar virtual console games on phones that run so-so and have terrible controls is not going to enamor them with mobile gamers any.
Well, and the fact that the games are really made, I mean, like NES games, if we're talking NES games, those are hard games. Like, those are games that you need to be on point with.
I mean, they've released some of those old Mega Man games on phones officially, but...
Well, yeah, like, I mean, one of my favorite Sonic games of all time, Sonic CD, got a mobile release, but I haven't really wanted to go back and play it because it's on my mobile, Right. I'd rather just port it on my computer and play the ROM than, play it on mobile where I'm going to be, like, tapping buttons and, messing up, so...
Yeah. So
probably,
I think it'd be a bad idea.
I think it could be a good idea, I just know personally I have no interest in it.
Eugene?
Yeah, so I don't really have any interest in this. Like, so number one, I've already had this because emulators are already a thing on like Android. So like when I had an Android phone, like I literally had like, Game Boy emulators, NES emulators, SNES emulators, and it was great. Like I could play Illusion to Gaia on the go and everything. But what it always came down to was that it just doesn't feel right to play with touchscreen controls. And like you said, Justin, I'm not like I could like dig out like an 8-bit DOE or something like that. But at that point, like, am I playing a portable game anymore? Like when I have to have like my phone propped up and then like an 8-bit DOE, like at that point, I'd rather just play it like
on the Switch,
on a computer or something. Yeah, or on the Switch, exactly. So like I don't know that Nintendo would do this. And if they did, I mean, sure, I guess that would be great, but I would only probably get like select titles, like maybe like a Tetris or like a, like a game, like a role-playing game, like any like Final Fantasy games or something like that. But like for like a Mario, nah, I'll pass.
Can I make one last point real quick?
Yeah.
No. System. If mobile phones had the kind of HD Rumble like compatibility that the Joy-Cons have, I could see there being a point to playing a game like that again, because I feel like you could do something with the Rumble to kind of give you that sensation of inputting on a button, and that's really what I'm lacking when I play on a mobile phone. When I hit the A button, I don't know that I'm hitting it, and that's where I come into the issue. Like if I felt that sensation of hitting a button, even if it wasn't really there, that might be enough to make it worthwhile for me. I just don't think the tech is there yet for the phones.
Yeah, I mean, I have the iPhone 8, and like the home button, the classic home button on the iPhone is not actually a button. It's just a touchpad. But when you press it, there's that haptic feedback that makes it click.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that might go, towards making touchscreen D-pads more tolerable. But yeah, it's never going to replace an actual physical rocking pad under your thumb.
Mm-hmm. All right, Lucas, why don't you take us to our final question? This one comes from our handsome executive producer, Hax.
If you had to kill off any one Nintendo franchise / character, who would it be and why? I don't know. If I had to kill off anyone, I know who I'd want to kill, and they already kind of killed her off. I would want to kill off Crystal from Star Fox. I loved Star Fox 64, and I didn't realize that this was part of the reason, and it's going to sound, I guess, kind of chauvinistic or whatever, but take it as you will. I liked that the original Star Fox was a boys' club. Like, I liked that you had Fox and Slippy and Falco and Peppy. There was a real, like, kind of, like, dude bond there that I thought was really cool. And then they introduced Crystal as like the cash-in, weirdly furry sexual love interest adventures. And then they gave her like a slot and replaced Peppy on the team, and she was like the psychic and everything. And that had like a Star Trek vibe to it. Like she felt like B'Elanna, or not B'Elanna, the character from Star Trek who could like read thoughts and stuff, the empath. But anyway, nerddom aside here. Yeah, Troy. She felt like her, and like that was interesting. But like I miss that like 4-guy dynamic kind of thing, kind of like what we have at Infendo, or like what we had with like the 5 of us, and what we now have with the 4 of us. Like there is something kind of cool about that, and it's a unique dynamic that you don't always see in games, and I liked it. And when they kind of like shot a character out and replaced him, I was like, well, this sucks, and it's not really the same crew. But then they kind of killed her off.
The opinions of Lucas do not necessarily reflect those of Infendo or our sponsors.
I don't think there's anything. I don't think there's anything wrong with preferring that your game have a specific number of characters of one gender or another. There's games all over the board that highlight female relationships, male relationships, and everything in between. And I think it's just fine to say that you want your game to focus mostly on males at certain points. Like there's nothing wrong with that. It's just it's a character choice.
Joking aside, I think there is a certain value in the action movie like tone, especially that very like 80s Top Gun vibe that Star Fox tends to go for. Where I kind of see that. I haven't thought of a franchise yet that I'd want to kill off, but for the interest of story, I would kind of like to see them dare to kill off Samus.
Oh,
Not because I don't
interesting.
like her as a character, and not because I don't like Metroid as a franchise, although
because every
it's hit or
game
miss.
is the same.
Right, exactly. I think if they're going to try to turn, like, if Metroid's just going to be like a Zelda game or a Mario game where every game is the same, then fine, keep Samus. But if they're going to try to pretend like there's this ongoing epic storyline, at some point they're going to have to change up the formula. And I think the best way to do that is to actually not just stop using her, but kill off the Samus character and have another bounty hunter take her place with new abilities.
Would you want to see like a prequel story with someone like Adam? Would you want to see maybe her friend from Other M, that like huge dude who almost gets eaten by Ridley? Like, would you want to see a pre-existing character, or would you want to see somebody entirely new? Because there are a couple of
Other M. None of that means anything to me. So I guess it wouldn't really matter to me. Like, I always, years ago when I imagined a Metroid movie, I always imagined her being part of a team of bounty hunters, kind of like, like Metroid Prime Hunters introduced and whatnot.
Right.
And that, if Samus died, then her partner would, take up or whatever.
Sure. So I'm going to jump in here since there's not much time left, and I do want to get my thoughts in here. But I want to see Nintendo in the next Zelda franchise. I want to see them kill off Link, and I want to play as Zelda. Like, let's put Zelda as the main character.
You can do that in the CDI game.
Yeah. I would be down for that.
Yeah. I mean, it would be interesting, right? Like, it is the Legend of Zelda. Let's let her be something more than just a damsel in distress, Like, she obviously in Breath of the Wild, she can hold her own against Ganon. So, like, let's get a game like based on her. I'd like to hear that tale.
And what would be interesting about that is Zelda's less combat and more magic based, so it would even could even change the dynamic of the gameplay, like maybe be a little bit more like casting spells instead of swords and bows.
Sure.
I don't know if you remember this or not, but there was this rumor that was going around for a few years that was big for a few years about this game called like The Legend of Zelda, The Great Deluge or something. And it was supposed to be all about this guy who thought that he was Link and like is playing through the period where Hyrule is getting flooded, like right before Wind Waker. And like, he's not actually the hero. He thinks he's the hero, but he's delusional. He's heard too many like fairy tales and stuff. He's just a dude. And like, that was supposed to be the game that was coming out and everything. And of course, it never happened, but like, it's a cool concept, right? Like, I would really like it in Breath of the Wild if you could be whoever you wanted, be your own character kind of stuff. Like, I would love a Zelda game where you get to be Zelda or anyone else, really.
Right. That's awesome. All right, so that concludes the question block. Thank you for everybody that submitted a question. If you would like to submit a question, you can too by joining our Patreon at www.patreon.com and hit that question block for $3 or more. All right, so we're going to move on to our final section. This one is going to be Change the System. I'm going to go first here because, as I've said, I really haven't been playing a lot of video games lately, but I don't know. I've just kind of been.
I don't know. You seem to have been playing a lot of Home Improvement.
Yeah, I literally have. I've been. That's what I was gonna say. I've kind of been getting my jollies out of like getting some physical labor because I've been remodeling my house. We finally are like 2 steps away from moving back into our master bedroom, so that's gonna feel nice. But yeah, like I don't know if it's just like. It's definitely not lack of games because there's a ton of games that I could be playing right now, a ton of games that are continually come out on the Switch. But I don't know. I think I'm waiting for just the right game or maybe just like a little lull in my, daily life. Like, yeah, I fired up a few rounds of PUBG and that's about it. So I'm going to toss it off to whoever is wanting to speak next. Who has been playing some games they want to talk about this week?
Justin?
All right. Well, Lucas is shrugging, so I guess I'll jump in there. I mean, other than my usual, a little bit of Skyrim here, a little bit of you know, Dr. Mario there, you know, just all my kind of oddball throw 'em in, play for a night sort of games. I do have a couple of games that I'm doing for review that have kind of changed up what I've been playing. The first one is one that I've mentioned the past couple of weeks, 80s Overdrive, and I felt the need to mention it this episode, even though felt like I was kind of done with it last week, because I reached a point in the game where it really started to pick up and become more fun, and so I'm glad I stuck with it a little bit longer. There's the beginning part of the game is frustrating. There's a lot of repetition involved. There's a lot of replaying the same races over and over again to get good enough, either a good enough car or a upgraded enough car to really feel competitive. But once you hit that next level, the racing really becomes more fun, because you can hold your own in some of the tougher races. So I'm going to give that game a little bit more time before I put my my final opinion on that. But I did want to kind of voice that if you have picked that up and you kind of fell off of it after a little while, it's worth sticking with for a little while longer. The other game that I've briefly played is another game that we got for review called Membrane, and it is weird. The intro to the game is completely out there. Basically, I mean, there's no real, so it doesn't explain the story. So the best I can figure is you're basically playing a synapse. So the intro starts off with this weird little like animated hand-drawn flash animation sort of thing of a fly landing on a person's arm, and then it zooms into the person's brain, and you're basically following the path of the signal from the brain down to the arm. Like you can actually, like the map screen shows the line going from the brain to the arm, and it's a puzzle platformer. And so how it works, it's almost a little Portal-esque, but not, you know, with like the teleporting thing, but with that sort of, whoa, everybody's still there?
I thought he was like emphasizing a point, but he was actually
no. The point is I'm on my phone and I just knocked it over. So your character is basically a little body with a pointed head, and whatever direction the point is facing shoots this string of dots that stick to certain surfaces and each other. And then these things can become like strings or rods or bridges or whatever that are affected by gravity and the environment and motion and stuff like that. And this is another game like 80s Overdrive where I hit a point where I feel like it got too difficult and too frustrating too quickly. Because I'm only in the second or third world. The first world is all tutorial stuff and just like breeze right through it. It's a lot like Box Boy. I'm going to keep going.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to keep going since this is for review. It reminds me a lot of Box Boy, where you have like, you know, it introduces you to the concepts and then starts building on them. So the first world is all tutorial. The second world kind of gets you into using this dot shooting device to get to the other side of the levels. And then the third world really starts pulling out all the stops and making you really think about how you are doing this. And I have already reached one world that took me about an hour of experimentation and just kind of wrapping my head around the way everything works before I finally figured out a way around it. Because there's no necessarily right answer. It's however you build off of these things. And I'm actually stuck in a world right now that is killing me. I cannot figure this one out. So I'm hoping I can kind of push through this and get to it because the concept is brilliant. And
this sounds like a game right up my alley, actually. Probably Steve too, since you mentioned box.
Yeah, like it really, especially with the art style and the very simplistic. This is what you can do, and that is all you can do. Sort of vibe that I get from it, but yeah, I feel like it got too difficult too quickly, or maybe I'm just dumb. But if I can't get through this stage that I've been stuck on for the past day and a half, I'm not sure I'm going to write an effective review for it. But the concept is there, the art style is there, the physics are there. It's just it's a little opaque right now for me.
Sure. Fair enough. Well, that's cool. I mean, we've mentioned this before, but it's nice to see that we're starting to get some reviews from some from
indie developers.
Yeah, thank you very much. So if you guys are listening for whatever reason, thanks for sending us your games. We really appreciate that. Awesome.
Yes,
so
we love trying out new things and being an indie podcast, indie website.
Mm-hmm.
That we definitely appreciate and support, the indie development because, I think this is the future of gaming is just, people with ideas, just putting them out there.
Right. I mean, like freaking Hue Adventure, like exactly that. All right, Lucas, why don't you hit us with the games you've been playing this week?
Actually, before I start, I need to ask you something about this because I have a game that I've been playing, but I'm not allowed to release a review for it for another 11 days, and I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it or not. So,
I mean,
I read the release. You can talk about it, but you're not allowed to score it. So you can give general impressions, but you can't say you can't necessarily say if you like it or not.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So this game is easily no, I'm kidding. I'm not going to do that. Without saying whether or not I like this game, I will say that I like games of this genre. I have been playing a game called Danmaku Unlimited 3, and holy crap, is it neutral in my opinion. It is so neutral. I can't put it down. It's a shoot 'em up space shooter top down kind of Galaga style game, but it's all bullet hell. And the special mechanic of it is that when you scrape your ship along the side of a bullet, you increase your points. And the goal is to get as close to the bullets as possible in a bullet hell game without getting touched.
So it's like Raiden meets Burnout.
My God, it is so neutral. It is the most neutral game I have ever received as a review code. I am honored or not honored to have received said game. And my God, that's all I'm going to say about that. Wait another week and a half and I'll have a review out for you folks on Infendo.com. If you are subscribed to our YouTube channel, you already know that I have played a crap ton of Darkest Dungeon. I played with my friend Corey, who again is apparently my only friend in real life. And we would each take 2 characters and we would play that way. I've kind of gone about making that my Infendo plays of the game because the stuff I wanted to do was way too ambitious for me. Do not have the time for it right now, but I can at least get some gameplay out there. And he loves recording, and this is his microphone that I use every week on the show. So thank you, Corey. We're going to play another 3 hours next week. So you're never going to stop getting updates about Darkest Dungeon videos. But I'm going to leave that for you guys to watch or not watch on YouTube. Everything is there for you to experience. The other game I have been playing is not on a Nintendo system, but I've been watching a lot of Markiplier lately, which in addition to, I think, altering how I've been opening my videos on YouTube, has also caused me to go back and re-download and play a game called Plague Inc., which is a very old game that I think most people here probably played. I assume it was pretty popular back in the day. You literally just spawn in a virus and you have to take over the whole world and then kill everybody from mutations and stuff. Super fun game. Really enjoyed it. Glad I got back into
What did you say it's called?
Plague Inc.
I've heard of it, but I've never played it. I might have to pick it up.
It's fun. It's morbid. I tend to get really into like the plot of a game, and the plot of this game is literally trying to counter humans' best efforts to stop them all from dying. So I have trouble with that. But there is a Neurax worm option where you can make them all think you're God by taking over their brain as a little worm. That one's fun. The zombie apocalypse one is kind of fun. So there's options out there for you. I haven't gotten back into Ocarina of Time. I want to, but the last time I tried to play, I was dead tired. And it was that in-between dungeons thing where you have to sneak into the castle and say hi to Zelda. And I was like, I don't want to do this right now. So I didn't do that.
Really? Because that takes all of like 5 minutes.
Yeah, but it's so boring. What I did do, plus then you have to hear about the creation myth for like the third time, because that's all strewn about the beginning of the game.
All that important Zelda storyline that you love so much.
Shut your whore mouth. It's a beautiful game with a wonderful story. But they overdid it with that one. However, a game that I was able to play very recently, right before the show started, cut him out, just cut his mic, was Kirby Star Allies. Because the demo came out in North America like 5 hours ago.
Wait. Kirby Star Allies?
Allies.
Oh, thought this was suddenly took a strange Middle Eastern turn.
And was there really anything wrong with that? Anyway, it's a very interesting game. I really like it. I'm very excited for it. I think it could be my next favorite Kirby game after Kirby 64. If you haven't played it yet, you can go and download it right now and play it like after the show. But the gameplay mechanic is that you have up to 3 friends that you can just ally with by throwing a little heart on them. And then they're your allies. You can merge abilities with them. So you can create like a Sir Kibble that has like fire boomerangs instead of like the regular cutter ones and stuff. And there are things strewn about the level, like a bomb that's hanging from a rope. So in order to make that activate and get to the secret area, you have to have a fire and a cut ability. And that brings me back to that old like Kirby 64 style thing where you had to like find abilities ahead of time and bring them to specific zones and stuff. It looks like it's going to be a simpler version of that game. Like I was playing with Hax the other night when he had downloaded the European version, and he told me flat out, like, sword and fire is sword and fire. Ice and sword is ice and sword. Like there's no special cool abilities or anything like that. It's just they merge, elements with them. But It still sounds really cool. They're bringing back Yo-Yo, which was like my favorite ability. There's some cool villains and like the loosest of plots, which is all I ask for in a Kirby game, like Kirby 64. So like I'm hyped for this one. Also, it's very pretty. Like if you go down and you play it, it's so nice looking.
Let me just ask you this. Does it have what my favorite Kirby game has in it? And does it have golf?
Golf? It has so much. Yeah, I know.
Kirby Dream Course, dog.
Game ever made. I know. I bought that at a flea market as a child. Didn't know it was a garbage game, and regretted paying my money.
I'm going to defend Kirby Dream Course because for what limited amount of time I've put on it on my Super NES Classic, I find it to be fun and original. But to be fair, I am playing it in the 21st century with save states.
Here's the only thing I have against Kirby's Dream Course. I didn't know it was a golf game when I bought it because I was a kid and I saw Kirby and I was like, Kirby! And I played it and I was like, what is this? This isn't Kirby. This is freaking
You should have picked up a gaming magazine.
Yeah, that would have been a smart thing for no allowance 7-year-old Lucas to do.
Maybe you should have been listening to Infendo radio. Shit.
Actually, yeah, I think Infendo was around back then. Probably. So I can listen to it. But yeah, no. So really, Kirby Star Allies, I think it could be really good. I think it's the first game that I really want this year, other than Ukulele. Which when will it go on sale?
Yeah.
So
I'm in that boat. It's been as I've seen it as low as $20 on Steam on occasion. So. I mean, we're due for a sale on the Switch.
I really want that game. So
I just don't $40 want that game.
Yeah, exactly. We've had the discussion. Exactly.
Right.
We know where we stand.
Right. All right. Well, that brings Lucas's Change the System to a conclusion. That also brings us to the conclusion of our show. Before we get out of here, we're about to hit you with all kinds of shit. So get ready. Guys, we just launched our merchandise shop and we're actually really pumped about it. It's run on Design by Humans. So if you go to designbyhumans.com/shop/Infendo, you can find us. Otherwise, you can go to infendo.com and click on the link for the merch shop. But regardless, there's all kinds of really cool stuff up there, guys. There's some Hue Adventure shirts. You can get a fucking Infendo Morpher mug. You can get a sticker of all your favorite. Yeah, you can get a sticker of all of your favorite Infendo crew with a little design that Lucas made that's almost in the vein of Animal Crossing, I believe. But actually, it's kind of giving me Stardew Valley vibes, if I have to be honest. But regardless, there's all kinds of cool stuff up there. So yeah, support us. I mean, we're a small stream, and we'll actually get a little bit of kickback if you guys buy our stuff. So we would really appreciate that. Oh God, Phantom is asking in the chat if we can get a Lucas body pillow. We'll work on that. That might have to be on some kind of
make this happen, Phantom.
Lucas, is your new Infendo logo on anything in the shop right now? Because
the Bayonetta one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on like everything except it's even on coffee mugs. It's on everything. You can buy it as a sticker, you can buy it as a shirt, you can buy it as whatever you want.
Lucas made this sweet Infendo logo that looks just like the Bayonetta logo.
Yeah, it's rad.
Yeah.
It's some good stuff out there.
It's probably second favorite to our Home Improvement logo for me,
which is also on there. And we'll be adding new content all the time because I went to school for graphic design and I've got the bug. So you pitch me an idea on our Discord, I'll freaking make it happen, and you can buy that stuff up. So
I went to school for graphic design and said, fuck this shit, I'm out.
What's really cool about our web store, to kind of interrupt a little bit, is that, I mean, it's not just for dudes, but there's also some women's designs on there as well. So if you want to get much
to Lucas's disappointment.
If you want to get a cute little t-shirt for your girlfriend, you can. There's tank tops, there's sweatshirts. I don't know why we can't do backpacks or beanies and stuff yet, but we're going to look into that because I think that would be really cool to have as well. So yeah, go check us out. It's on, again, designbyhumans.com/shop/Infendo, or you can go to infendo.com and click on our merch shop. And speaking of infendo.com, go there, because up on the top, we've got all kinds of cool new stuff up there. You can get a direct link to our Discord. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom of Infendo.com, it'll actually tell you live who is on Infendo or on the Infendo Discord right now. So you can see if Lucas is active and talking shit to Justin and I about him beating us in video games or something like that. So yeah, definitely join our Discord channel. We've already gotten a few new Discord members since we added that, and we'd like to get a few more. So definitely do that. More plugs. Please subscribe to us on YouTube, y'all. We've got Infendo Plays going up almost on the daily. So that's kind of been Lucas's baby. So go support him in that. Of course, if you subscribe to us, you will be notified when we go live for Infendo Radio. So that's a thing too. So definitely check us out on YouTube. Lastly, on the plug train, definitely join us on Patreon if you want to throw us a few bucks. Again, we're small streamers, so every little bit helps. It's nice to be able to purchase games with the money that you guys give us and be able to talk to it on the show, so you guys giving us money is directly going to impact the show, so we really do appreciate that. With that, I'm done. So I'm going to tell y'all where you can find me, and that is going to be on the Twitterverse on @InfendoEugene. Of course, you can follow Infendo @Infendo, and like I said before, be sure to go to www.infendo.com and join us on all of our channels. Justin, where can we find you this week?
Well, you can find me on Twitter @InfendoJustin. And when I get off my lazy ass, I'm also on @Utilidork with all my Disney opinions and occasionally writings and hopefully soon podcasts and vlogs when I get the ambition for that. That is a UTILIDORK. And all of my gaming information, Wii U, 3DS, and Switch gamer codes and whatnot are in my profile at Infendo Justin as well. So hit me up on that if you want to see what I'm playing and maybe play with me.
Very nice, very nice. All right, I'm going to toss it over to Lucas. And Lucas, I did forget a plug, but I think you might have that plug in your room. So maybe you can talk about that a little bit because we have a contest going on this month.
Okay. Should I give my plug first, and then we can just go right to the contest? Because that seems kind of okay. That way I don't butt in afterwards. I'm just going to keep it really simple and focus on Hue Adventure because I'm all over the webs, but Hue Adventure is my baby. I'm making a video game. It is very early in development. I'm currently working on level 2 out of 6. But if you want to know about that, if you have any interest in it at all, if you want to give me feedback, if you want to play it, whatever, best way to find me right now is on Twitter. My Twitter handle is at LUKASPEACE_, Lucas Peace _. If you really like me and you really want to help me grow as a developer, you can join my Patreon, which is literally just patreon.com/HueAdventure. No pressure there. It's all good, but like that is, let's be real, it's a motivator for me. You know, it shows me that there's interest. It shows me that people are wanting to support me. It gives me a little bit of a financial boon, which is much needed considering, you know, I'm working on it because I love it, not because I'm making money on it. So by all means, jump on that train if you want to. You don't have to. Just tweeting at me is enough. The more support I get, the more encouraged I feel and the harder I want to work. So like, you know, by all means, hit me up if you're interested. That's all I want to say about that because I don't want to overwhelm. We do have a contest, actually. We have 2 announcements, kind of. We want to give away our prize for this month, and we want to announce our prize for next month. So stay tuned for that. We are going to start with our giveaway, which, again, I don't have right in front of me. It's sitting in a safe, cat-proof box. We have 3 amiibos that we're giving away all at once because we're fantastic people. We've got an 8-bit Link, and we've got a Super Smash Brothers Zelda, and we have a boxed Link Rider amiibo. And all 3 of those amiibos are going to one of our patrons at any tier level. We just put everybody's name in a big old randomizer, and Eugene is probably going to make a big spectacle.
Doing that right now, actually.
And tell us who our beautiful winner is. Do we need to stall?
I'm not ready. I'm not ready for that. So give me like by the time you talk about what the giveaway is for this month, I will be ready for that end of giveaway. So why don't you tell us about what our giveaway is this month?
This one's a big one. We went in and we chipped in on this very pretty, if you're watching live, Zelda chess set. It is a super legit for reals chess set. The pieces are gorgeous. They're all themed after like Ocarina of Time Zelda characters. We're going to be blasting you with images of this chess set on all of our social media because we really want to give this to somebody super awesome. But it is really freaking cool and fantastic and like an $80 retail value. So if you want this chess set, which is still wrapped up, so you can do whatever you want with it in shrink wrap, please, all you got to do is be a patron, right? That's all we're doing for this giveaway too. So literally anybody who's a patron for $1 or more in the month of March is entered to win this chess set. So even if you just want to throw a buck and put in your chance to win, that's all it takes. I want this. I wish I was getting this. The castle pieces, the rooks are Darunia, which is amazing. It's literally like Link and Zelda versus Ganondorf and his army of evil. It's so beautiful, folks. I want it so bad. But I can't win it because I work for Infendo. You, however, can because you don't. So please enter and win and make me happy by posting tons of pictures to social media of you having fun playing this. Preferably with your cute significant other or your pet or your parents or somebody else who's amazing and loves you. So that's all I got for that. I'm praying that we're getting close to being ready for this.
I'm ready. I'm fucking ready to rock and roll.
Forget the chess set, he says as he throws it on the ground. Let's talk about amiibos. Let's give those away.
So I'm going to turn on my screen share for all of you guys that are listening to us on the YouTube. You can actually see this nice little wheel here. So I'm going to scroll down here so just you can see that everybody who is a patron is indeed added to it, except for Hacks, because he decided that he wanted to abstain from this giveaway, so he is not on the wheel. But everybody else is. So, yeah, basically anybody who is a patron gets the chance to win these 3 fine amiibo. So without further ado, let's spin this motherfucking wheel. No whammies, no whammies, no whammies, no whammies, no whammies.
I must be the only one who gets that reference.
Phantom! Wow!
We know him!
Very nice! I'm actually kind of quite excited that Phantom is the winner there. Very nice, Phantom. That is
Not
awesome.
that we have any favoritism or anything.
Phantom, congratulations. You are our winner of our amiibo contest for the month. Thank you, everybody who entered to win. Obviously, you can enter on the next contest by being as little as a $1 patron. So jump on that fucking train, y'all. All right. So with that said, we are going to get out of here. Phantom, if you would get into contact with us with your address, we will get that shipped out promptly. But yeah, if you guys want to join in on the fun next month, all you got to do is be a $1 patron and you get the chance to win it as well.
And before
okay,
we,
guys.
Before we go,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
Before we go, I just want to make sure that we pimp our other Infendo member, Steve, who could not be with us today. You can follow him on Twitter at Gentas1. That's JENTAS and the number 1.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
So JENTES and the number 1. Go ahead.
As always, thank you all for joining us for the week. Thank you to our executive producer, Hacks Life. You helped us to do what we do.
So
thank you, everybody
beautiful.
who was a patron this month. You guys are also very beautiful. Not just to Justin, but to me as well.
Also me.
So thank you guys. Thank you for having us another, bringing us, Jesus, I can't spoke. Thank you for joining us for another week of Infendo Radio. That is it. And we are gone. Catch you next week.
After what I had to come back to while trying to have a conversation with my fiance, you cannot complain about me singing in this episode.
I was gonna say bye,
that
but
was
like
just excruciating.
It's done. Bye.
That was fun. Honestly, I did not think we were gonna make like a long show, and this was a long ass fucking show for having only 3 people.
Yeah,
well, Nintendoons took up a lot of that because we had one fewer person to make guesses for one thing.
That's true.
Well, 2 fewer people since Mike isn't with us anymore.
So what you're saying is Steve is the reason that everything is.
Well, and we also had some pretty obscure things there that neither I nor Lucas had ever heard of. So
sure. All right, we are going to end the live broadcast. So I will catch y'all on the flip side. Andy, it looks like you're at a Starbucks or something.